And you're live.
Right, well, good evening, welcome, good evening, people, and thank you for joining us tonight on the one and only Inside Out Effect podcast.
Yep.
And as I said many times before, Jonathan, this really is now the self-proclaimed #1 personal development and healing podcast on a 7 p.m. at a Sunday night.
I believe on a 7 p.m.
On
at
a 7
Sunday
p.m.
night.
at a Sunday night, yeah,
You
absolutely.
mean at 7 p.m. on a Sunday night?
And even that as well.
And even that as well.
Yeah,
Brilliant.
great.
Strike
So
that, reverse it.
Yeah, strike it, reverse it, do the opposite.
Exactly. The opposite,
So
yeah.
I am your host, Stephen Jakes, co-founder of the Inside Out Effect and healingthemind.co.uk. And I'm very solemn tonight.
Solemn?
Yes, very solemn, very disappointed.
Yeah, I wonder why he's wearing a black shirt.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, it was a last-minute wardrobe change.
It was
wasn't
last, yeah.
I didn't want to look like a darts player.
No, you didn't.
That
No.
shirt was making me look fat.
It was making you look
awful,
a bit like Eric Bristow, wasn't it?
It did, yes. I had to go
He was almost pregnant.
quick last-minute wardrobe change, bit of makeup, and then we're ready.
I thought it was going to remake Junior at one point.
Did you?
I did, yeah. I thought it was going to.
Yeah. So anyway, well, thank you for joining us, and obviously I'm a little bit solemn because first I just want to express my absolute despair and quite frankly my honesty about. I don't know whether to be upset, angry, disappointed with the latest announcement from Boris a few days ago about this new variant, that's out there that's going to wipe out humanity. And obviously, which is a variant from a virus, obviously.
Yes.
So it's a variant from a virus that's been proven not to exist in a court of law.
Yes.
So this virus that doesn't exist has variants.
Yes.
Which is quite strange. So I don't know how that works exactly, Boris or Mr. Whitty, but I'll probably tell you how it works. You're a liar, you're a bullshitter, and you make up shit, and you're a despicable individual who's actually scaring and frightening innocent people who just want to get on with their lives, go to work, be happy, look after their families and their loved ones. And you're doing that with no fucking reason whatsoever. There's no reason for it. So I just think these people are despicable, low-life pieces of scum. And I do believe that they need to all be arrested for the crimes against the people. I mean, it's...
they've done so many crimes, that's unbelievable.
That Chris Whitty, he's the same. He's a despicable, low-life piece of shit, and he needs to be arrested as well. And whether you believe it or not, you believe it, your media, I'm just really had enough of it. And so... all the members of the establishment, the ministers, the doctors, the health officials, the trusts, SAGE, they all need to be arrested. And because, we've maintained from the start, and you can't catch colds, flus and viruses. And how do we know that? It's because we're constantly healing this in people all of the time. Just in the last 3 weeks, since the last podcast, I've switched off people with colds who have turned up to me for their
switched
session.
off the people.
I've switched off the
You
people.
What they do?
I've switched off the people.
Stephen, so I'm kind of...
I've literally had people turn up and I'm like, how are you today? Oh, I'm not well. I've got flu. I said, okay, well, before we start, let's get rid of that. And it don't take me long, maybe 25, 30 minutes, find out when did you start going down with the symptoms? What happened 3 days before? Oh, well, I had a big row at work. Okay, let's switch all the responses and stuff that you've had about this event at work. And guess what? All of their symptoms have gone. They're no longer feeling it. And then we can crack on dealing with what they originally come to me in the first place. I went to see my massage therapist. She was like, oh, I want to cover myself up because I don't want to drip. I've got a runny nose. I said, I'm not going to catch that from you. And she said, well, I know. I said, no. I said, do you want me to get rid of that for you now before we start? 6 minutes, got rid of her runny nose and her cold, and then she carried on massaging me. So, again, and that was another conflict from work.
Yeah.
There was someone at her work who abused her at work, and she got really angry and cross and just walked out of the building and come home. And then 3 days later, runny nose, it got up her nose, and she had a runny nose, and I just switched off all of that, and that went away.
Yeah.
Yesterday, I had a guy who come to me yesterday morning, head cold, really bunged up, head cold, and it basically took me 15 minutes to get rid of all of his cold symptoms. Then it's like, oh my God, my cold's gone. I'm like, yeah, right, now let's crack on with your thing. So we've been saying it from the start, and I'm doing it all the time. So if anybody wants to believe it, it's fine, but this is why I know they're all lying.
Yeah, totally, I treated my first official COVID case. Got a lovely testimonial from
I've done 10 people with COVID symptoms. 10 people now.
Yeah.
And I know,
it's just ridiculous. I know. When you clear it that quickly and you solve it that quickly, it's just ridiculous.
I know.
I do love the fact that the new virus Omicron is actually an anagram for moronic.
That's right. Yes, and what makes it
which
worse.
I think is great. So anyone who's actually believing this, they're basically telling you you're morons.
Yeah.
In the name, they've just taken the word moronic, mixed around the letters, and called it Omicron.
Yeah. Omicron is an anagram of moronic.
So if you are still believing this, you are moronic.
Yeah.
I agree with them.
Yeah.
Because it's just staring you right in the face. I mean, that is just blatantly funny.
Yeah.
Deep State clearly have a sense of humour.
It's just doing my head in now, because you can have all these people that are just so brainwashed by the TV, and that anything that isn't on the TV now, the whole life is ruled and controlled by the telly, and whatever, if anything outside of that is a conspiracy theory, and these people are so bought into it, and it's really frightening how much power and control the television and the media have over people, and how invested they are into that, and the inability to discern any information, look into stuff, research stuff, find out the truth. I mean, I don't know how many leading experts are in the world literally talking out about this, but they're being shut down, and you're listening to people who don't know what they're talking about. Dermot old twatneck on some TV morning show, who's an expert in fuck all, basically telling everyone that, you need to do this. These all people haven't got a clue. They're just spouting a narrative which has basically been told to tell them just to support it. And this has been going on long and long and off. And I think most people now are probably not going to buy it. I'm hoping most people aren't going to buy this.
I really hope people aren't going to buy into it.
But anyway, I just think they're...
As you should. Please ignore the government. They talk shit about everything. They literally lie about everything.
Yeah.
Just don't follow. Do not comply.
Yeah, and I'm sorry, but I don't care who the government are. They have no rights or any jurisdiction over me whatsoever. Full stop.
They have no jurisdiction over anybody. Legally speaking, they have no. Unless you sign a contract with them, there's no jurisdiction over anything.
They have. I'm not. So I'll literally just laugh at them. But anyway, so that's my little bit over with.
Yes,
I needed to say that because it's pissing me off now. It's just, we're nearly 2 years into it. We've had all these different variants, and do you know what? I've not social distanced. I've not worn a mask. I've hugged. I've kissed. I've loved. I've basically gone to supermarkets. I've gone to markets with loads and loads of people. I've not had one jab. And do you know what? Not one time have I got sick or ill in all that time. But yeah, there's been all these variants.
I know. Actually, you did get sick for that weekend when we cleared that conflict.
Yeah, but
there's a conflict.
Yeah, but it wasn't nothing to do with.
No.
Yeah, that's the point I'm making.
But there's no. You don't get sick through those things. So it's just. It's just. But I've done the same thing. I've had clients who have got COVID.
Yeah.
And it's movie magic, love.
Yeah.
And that's also quite.
Can you do that again? That's quite interesting. I like that.
It's a quote from Iron Man 3.
Yeah.
It's movie magic, love. If anyone watched Iron Man 3, you know what I'm talking about. Which it just is. It's just movie magic. They're just literally faking literally everything.
Yeah.
And there's so much evidence. I mean, there's so much
so much. If people haven't gone and looked and seen the amount of evidence,
is overwhelming. I mean, it's just the evidence is so overwhelming that they are lying through their teeth.
I know. And the thing is, the problem is that it's the news watchers. It's the news morons.
Yeah.
And I've actually now been gone on the attack on a few of my posts because they're beyond help. You can't help them people, and it doesn't matter what information you give them. They're like, it's not on the news. Well, I was like, seriously, you need to wake the fuck up and go and actually start looking into this and stop believing what they're telling you, because they're not actually looking after you whatsoever. They just want to put you in fear and scare the living shit out of you and make you hate each other and avoid each other and lock yourself away and not hug and not kiss, and it's just disgusting. Yeah, it's absolutely disgusting. But and I do get it that most people that fortunately me and you work in this and what we do, and we actually know this and we can help people. But for those people that don't, the factory worker or the JCB driver or the woman that works in a healthcare food shop or whatever, they're not going to know what we know, and so they are susceptible to that information. But the thing is that just stop watching it. Just stop watching it. Just ignore it. And as soon as you stop turning the TV off and just start living your life, you'll realise that everything that you think and believe about this whole thing doesn't exist, because you'll go out in the real world and you'll not see it. No, you just won't see any of it.
No.
But I'm hoping now that this is going to be the final nail in their coffin. They're going to get found out. The normies, as they call them, will wake up to this, I think. I mean, it's still going to have a big percentage of people that are going to have 8 masks. I mean, there's a guy in Morris. There was a guy in a supermarket the other day who had 3 masks on. He had a plastic one, And then he had a blue one, you know, one with all the graphene oxide in, the bad ones. The ones that everyone wears.
The ones they throw on the floor. When
the disposable ones. The ones that are full of graphene oxide that really damage your lungs. All the stuff that people love wearing. Oh, you should need to wear a mask. No, I don't think so. I'm not putting that in my lungs. You're poisoning yourself. Yeah. But and then they had a material one over the top.
Oh my God!
And I had to pull him, and I did have to pull him up on it whilst getting me cheese.
Oh dear, really?
So
I can't be asked anymore.
I was polite to him, but it just annoys me really. But it was quite funny, really.
They just all calm down. All the shops have calmed down. Everything had calmed down. They're still trying to poison you with hand sanitizers in the shop still, and I'm like, really?
What, antibacterial for a virus?
Don't I have antibacterial on my hands already? Don't I have that protection?
Yeah.
Didn't God do that?
Yes.
Didn't the person who created this, who puts on his earth, think, you know what? I'll make human beings amazing.
Yeah, but when you think it'll be antiviral.
Yes.
Not antibacterial. Oh, I must put this antibacterial on to get rid of a virus.
Yes, exactly.
That don't make any sense.
No, exactly.
That's stupid.
It's not logical.
It says it on the bottle.
Yeah.
No, but
it's right there in plain English.
The man on the telly told me to do it, so I've got to do what I'm told because I'm a small child and I can't think for myself. Just do as you're told.
Just do as you're told. That's right. That's what we told at school. Just do as you're told. That's what we always told at school. Do as you're told.
So anyway, but I do think it's a bit of a coincidence that this has all happened, which we just spoke about before. Yeah. Isn't it funny that the Ghislaine Maxwell case starts tomorrow, 29th, and that's going to expose all of the child trafficking and all the.
Well, that's going to expose what the whole COVID thing's been about in the first place.
Yeah, well, you've got
because it was never about a virus. Yeah, well, it was all about the child trafficking. Yeah, always.
Well, it's also you've got all of the stars, the politicians, the leading people in corporations and businesses. Yeah. They're all on the island and all part of it, and now all of a sudden, as that's about to come out,
there's this new
and all of the people that own all of these companies, like the media companies,
they're all about to get exposed.
All about to get exposed. Now all of a sudden come out. Every country, all of a sudden, we need to do something. Let's get on the moronic.
Yeah,
the moronic variant.
I think we'll call it the moronic.
The moronic variant.
We'll put it back to letters which actually state what it is.
To undo the anagram and actually put it back as moronic.
Exactly. Yeah. It's very coincidental. Not that I believe in coincidence because the university's not that lazy.
I know.
So that's what it is. It's just a massive distraction, which is what the whole thing's been about in the first place. As far as I'm concerned, this whole lockdowns have all been about rescuing children and stopping the child trafficking.
I still think it's disgusting.
It is disgusting.
Because, you've got people out there. I've got members of my family who are completely and utterly petrified. They really believe it. It's their fault to sit in front of a TV for staring at a TV constantly, like hypnotized and having all this stuff being put in their brain. So we know how that works and how the subconscious now makes that real, even though it isn't. Yeah. But but they should be able to watch TV and not have the shit cracked out. Right. The shit cracked out of them, if that's a word.
Can you speak to that?
No.
What's going on?
And I just think it's disgusting. And then you just got to look at how it's affected and divided people. And and then you start looking. I did a post yesterday. As it stands, I think it's 108 FIFA. This is just FIFA. So it's 108 FIFA affiliated coaches and players have died in the last 6 months.
108
footballers and coaches.
I mean, I've seen lots of posts of footballers collapsing and heart attacks.
That's 108 have died in the last 6 months, right?
Wow.
That's FIFA.
I mean, no one's talking about this.
Right? No, but that's just footballers. That's not including the rugby players, the golfers, the basketball players, the American footballers, all the other athletes. There are absolutely tons of them. And there's also the other ones that have been collapsing and there's some tennis players. And
because I've seen a couple of athletes have had to quit their sport, haven't they?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because they've collapsed through heart conditions.
Yeah, there's the world champion mountain cyclist as well. He's had to do it as well. Yeah. So all of these people now are all basically now gone and done what they've done with the Jabberoo. Yeah. And to totally destroyed their lives, all based on a load of bollocks on a lie. Yeah, and I just think the whole thing's disgusting. And but that will teach you to go and just put a load of stuff in your body that you don't even know what's in it by somebody you don't even know, and they don't know what's in it, and just put stuff. I just don't get it. I just cannot understand it, and I just think it's fucking mad. Why you do that to yourself? Because someone on a fucking TV screen told you to do it.
I was at an airport picking my girlfriend up a few weeks back. And I was waiting for her, and I got chatting to a guy and a girl, and the girl was a nurse. And I said to her, how's your hospital? She nurse in Hertfordshire Hospital.
Hert's nursing up.
Yeah.
You talking as well as me tonight, mate?
And no, it was Hertfordshire Hospital. I don't know which one it was. And I said, she said, I've been really, really busy, really, really bad. And I'm thinking, bless her. She's just listening to what doctors are telling her. She's clearly not. Yeah. That, because nurses aren't trained to diagnose. So they don't really know. Only doctors can diagnose, and nurses just do what doctors tell them, basically. But I was talking to this guy as well, and he clearly heard the rumours about the vaccine. And I said, "You've had it then?" He went, "Yeah, I don't care if it kills me." I was like, "What?" I was like, "You are having a laugh." He literally said that, so I don't care if it kills. I was like, how can you not care? If you clearly he's trying to reframe in his head, because he's clearly found this out after he's had it.
Yeah.
And I was like, seriously, how can you not care that something? We're all busy worrying about what foods we put in our body, but we don't care if a vaccine kills us. Yeah. I mean, seriously,
I know. I mean, there's that Slovenian. Have you seen the Slovenian head of Slovenia?
No.
The head woman there has come out and said that there's 3 different types of vaccines. There's a saline one, there's an mRNA one, and there's a third one, which is like got really, it's like it's a kill shot basically.
Yeah, I did see the kill shot.
And there's three of them, and they're saying that all of the people that went on TV were all given these saline shots, and she's come out and exposed it because she was the one that was involved in it. So it's all starting to come undone.
It's starting to unravel. There's so many people whistleblowing, coming out. There's Pfizer whistleblowers. There's news whistleblowers. There's so many doctors, nurses. They're all coming out, quitting their job and coming out and going, "This is just not right."
I read there was the other one. I don't know if you know. There's a magazine called Circulation, and it's So you've not seen this.
No.
So I think it was about 4 or 5 days ago. There's a magazine called Circulation, and they're 71 years. It's the leading health publication for heart and circulation. Okay, and it's called Circulation. And it's 71 years, and it's all peer reviewed, and they've now done tests and proved that these jabs are actually killing people. And I think it does all your arteries, the cells, the T cells, and the cell linings. It's damaging all of it, and it's now basically been proven. It's been peer reviewed by all the top people on that. And so I think it was Mr. Coleman, Dr. Coleman, who come out and said any doctor after that knows now and is issuing those needs to be arrested.
Yes,
because it's actually killing people.
And
it's proven to kill people.
They will prove it. I mean, they will prove it's killing people, and sadly probably will continue to do so.
Yeah.
While people keep taking it.
Yeah.
But it will get proved.
You know, had your booster?
No, I had my chocolate booster this morning. My booster is a bit of chocolate every day. That's my booster. That's what boosts me. I'll be a bit of chocolate. Yeah. I wouldn't touch that thing if you paid me £50 million. No, in fact, I'd quite happily stab the other person with it. So try and come near me, you will get what.
Yeah, I'm the same.
But yeah, I mean, I got quite frustrated in my networking group. No, I didn't get frustrated. I was just. I told them that you have to give up 60. If everyone's ever been networking, you have to give us like a 60-second speech about what you do. And everyone took a bit longer. And there was a couple of new people there, and I rather than talk about me, I just tell a story that I've done or give them some advice. So I told about the COVID experience, and I
bet you could see everyone get bent out of shape going.
Seriously. I did pre-frame it and go, I'm going to fry your brains now.
Yeah.
I've treated someone with COVID, and I've got a testimonial. And the one woman across literally across the table from me, who had not met before, was there new. Her face, you could tell she did not believe it at all. She was disgusted. How can you be disgusted with someone saying that they help someone naturally heal from something? Yeah. How can that disgust somebody?
Well, that's because the belief is so.
I don't get it. I don't get it. How can you, just find that horrific that somebody else was able to help someone get better naturally, and actually you have their testimony, they feel better, and they actually got better. Why is that so wrong? I don't get it. Attacked by the
belief system of the TV is so deep. And do you know what?
Seriously,
the biggest problem is that this is the biggest problem with everybody, right? Is you just won't accept that maybe you got head over and you're wrong.
That is the biggest problem.
And the problem is anybody. Even though you know deep down you've been had over and you've been wrong and you've been lied to and you've made a decision from that, you've invested in that so heavily that you would rather carry on with that than just go, do you know what? I've got that wrong. They're terrible. We need to do something about that. No, you're just carrying on going along with it. And anybody now that mentions it, they're going to attack you. No, you don't. How do you know? Prove it. What? Well, you're not a doctor. No, well, no. I'm right. I don't want to be a doctor. I want to heal people. I want to get people better.
I didn't become a doctor.
I don't want to go, yes. I think it's this. Take these.
Yes,
next,
exactly.
Please.
I know.
Do you know what I mean?
That's why I didn't go into that.
But so everyone's so heavily invested in, banging their thing for the NHS and all these people, and all the stories that they've seen and how because they just will not accept that they've been wrong, they've been lied to, and that the information they've been given on the TV might have just been all staged and bullshit from the start.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, and they would rather, they just don't want to accept they've got it wrong or they've been had over, and that's the problem.
I think that's going to be a problem moving forwards. So the remaining percentage is going to be people who just can't admit they're wrong.
Yeah. Well, that's the same with everything in life, though.
I mean, well, we also have struggle sometimes admitting we're wrong, but in this case, this is life-threatening. Yeah. This is people's lives at stake. This is not just an argument down the pub with Billy Bob.
Billy Bob? Is it an American pub?
It's an American pub, yeah. I know Billy Bob pops in the end.
Country western as well in the background.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Nice. And sounds like my sort of place.
It sounds like my place as well. But it's not just over there, pub. This is people's lives at stake.
Yeah.
This is disgusting behaviour, and I get frustrated. I mean, at my networking, you know, I had a woman there who I treated, and she had wrist pain for 6 years. Yeah. And I got rid of it in two sessions. Yeah. And her knee pain, she said, I'll give you an update. She actually gave an update in front of everybody.
Did the woman who listened get bent out of shape?
I don't know. I wasn't looking at this point. But she, although this person that I helped get better wouldn't necessarily believe what I said about her, I didn't look at her face. But she stepped in and said, well, no, I'll give you an update because her knee was hurting and she's trying lots of things. And I didn't even treat her knee. I just showed her how to correct an exercise and showed her to walk correctly because she walked incorrectly. She said her knee's not hurting at all. It's absolutely fine. And I'm like, she's had that for, I mean.
It's quite, I'll tell you something else, John. I had a lady here, right, and I was telling her, it's just a friend's mum, and I'd done a favour for her. And I told her what I did. And I said, well, you know, and she said, oh, blimey. She goes, because I said I went to the market, and she said, oh, yeah, no, but, you know, we'll have about COVID. I went, COVID doesn't exist. And she went, well, I said something. And I said, well, go and ask the 700 people then. I've helped over the last whatever time frame. And then she goes, well, I don't believe you. And I think to myself, so you've never, ever come to me with anything. You've never allowed me to heal you with anything. You've never understood the process or how healing actually works and what's really going on. Yet, you know absolutely nothing about what I do. You know absolutely nothing about the results and how all these people have massively healed about everything. Yet you're willing to say, I don't believe you.
Yeah.
How can you not believe someone unless you've experienced it?
Well, the people don't because they don't know who you are. She doesn't know you.
Well, she does know me. Actually.
Oh, she does know.
Yeah, very well actually.
Very well. So see, the thing is that people don't believe, you know, like family members. You know, like parents never believe their children. Family members never believe the rest of their family.
No, I get that. I get that. Right, but if you've never experienced anything, how can you disbelieve it?
Well, people do, don't they?
No, that's my point. That is the point. The whole point of me saying it right now is that. So people go, oh, yeah, no, I don't believe you.
Yeah.
Well, why don't you believe me? You don't even know I do, yet you're disbelieving me. It's a bit like going up to a bus driver and saying, hello, mate, I'll buy you a beer. Yes, what do you do for a living then? Well, you know, what I do is I get up at 6 o'clock, I drive down to the old yard, I get in a bus, and I drive around between towns to towns, picking people up and dropping them off at wherever their destination is. And I'm going, fuck yeah, I don't believe you. What do you mean? What, you do that? No, I don't believe you. And it's just like insane. It's just like, no, this is what I do every day. What is it you don't believe?
The thing I find hard about it is that they're almost calling you a liar.
No, they are all calling me a liar.
No, I don't mean you generally. I mean, even this woman, her face didn't believe it. So she's making out that in her mind, she's obviously... I mean, she's making out my client's a liar or I'm a liar. Or
that's what I said, going on like, hundreds of people that I helped them.
I mean, it makes no sense. I mean...
Or go and read all my testimonials. Or go and watch all the testimonial videos.
Yeah.
And go and watch my video on the mind.
Yes.
And go and speak to the people that I've helped.
Yeah, well, they won't do that.
No, but you know what I mean? Don't say... No. Then come back to me and say, do you know what? I don't believe you.
Look at both sides of the argument. That's the other thing. People have an opinion, and they go, well, I don't believe you. But see, our opinion. See, people don't understand opinion. They go, well, that's your opinion. But their opinion's only based on one side of the argument, so it's not actually their opinion. They're just, as you say, repeating what they've been told. It's not an opinion. You can only have an opinion about something when you know all sides of the argument, and then you make your own mind up. But if you have no opinion, no knowledge of the other side of the argument or the other information around it, it's no longer your opinion. It's just what you've been told. Yes, and people don't seem to get that. They don't seem to get that's not their opinion. No, that's just what they've been told.
Yeah, so what they've been told, but they also just make up shit. They will just have a reaction. Go, well, personally, I don't think. Well, why don't you think it? Well, you're just making up shit.
Yeah.
And the problem is, not only that, is you'll make up shit and you'll go, that makes sense. And then you'll then have that as a belief. And then you'll start telling other people the shit you've made up. And they'll listen to it and they'll make up shit on the shit you've made up. But we've both got an opinion.
Yeah.
But it's just all based on fucking made up nonsense.
Yeah, and
that's what an opinion's all about.
They don't realise when they say that, well, I believe it. I'm like, well, it's a belief. It doesn't mean it's true.
I was at darts on Wednesday, right? And we was talking about football, right? And we talked about Harry Kane. And I said, it's mad, isn't it? I said that you can go and score 7 goals for England, but he's really struggling for Tottenham. And my mate turned around and went, yeah, but he don't want to be there. And I went, do you know that for sure? Have you spoken to him? How do you know he doesn't want to be there? He went, well, you can just tell, can't you? I went, what do you mean you can just tell? Tell what? He said, well, you can just tell. I mean, I just think that he don't want to be there. So what makes you think he doesn't want to be there? Right?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, he hasn't got a clue.
No.
I mean, he's got a professional football player, doesn't even know him, don't even speak to him, just sees him on TV, watches a few interviews, which is a load of nonsense anyway, but has come to the conclusion, and he knows, he doesn't want to be at Tottenham. And I'm like, you're just making up shit. You just don't know.
Yeah, people do it all the time.
I know.
It's ridiculous.
It's mental.
Yeah.
It's mental.
I know.
It's mental behaviour. It's funny though.
People create their own ideas about things in their mind without any knowledge or information to back it up whatsoever. And then they go around, well, I'm following the science.
Yeah.
Well, no, that's not science. I'm following the science. We're following the science. You're making shit up. That's not science what you're following. You're following a man with a graph.
Yeah.
And an image that's been made up.
And a script that he's been able to read.
Yeah, which all the news reporters and all the doctors say the same thing. They're telling you this. They all read from the same script. Yeah. And you're just, that's not science. No, and I'm like, seriously.
No, anything like TV science, mate. Oh, it's on TV, the scientist. How do you know he's a scientist? Well, it says that, scientist.
Scientist,
yeah. It says on the screen,
yeah. Because that wasn't written down.
It's so mental. It is mental behaviour, but I just find it fascinating, like that people. I said there's a few people. I mean, I'll come on to it, but I've been doing quite a bit of abdomen ovary, people with ovaries.
Oh, right, yeah.
And I had a friend, and I said, I could heal that for you. I had it for years, right? I could heal that for you. Oh yeah, well, no, I don't know, no. But she keeps going back to the doctor and the specialist for years and years and years and years. Still has the same problem. Still keeps coming back. And I said, well, look, I can heal that. I can get rid of that for you. And she went, oh, okay, yeah. Well, I'll go and find out what it is, and then I'll come back. No, I haven't heard from it.
No,
I know this is the mad thing.
I don't try to tell people.
That person knows I've healed loads and loads and loads of people for everything.
Yeah, well, that's their sabotage, right? I mean, that's their reason for keeping it, because it gets them out of something. You know, it's their guilt and shame running. I mean, a lot of things.
Yeah, but there's a lot of beliefs around it. You know?
Yeah, there's lots of beliefs around it. Yeah, but I mean, if she didn't have the sabotage running, she would show interest.
Yeah,
she'd be like, oh yeah, I want to get rid. But if she really wants to get rid of it, but that sort of person doesn't, because
I do love her to death, though. I just wanted to help her, really. But I know so many people that I know that I care about so much, and I think the world of, and I'm like, just come and see me. Just come and see me. Just come and see me. Like 1 hour, 2 hours, all out of your year. And I'll make you better for that, because I love you so much. I don't want to see you, and the thing you're doing ain't working, and you keep getting it back, and I don't want to see you suffering. And I just come and see me. I'll just, and I go, oh, and then I don't hear from him, and then I see him like a month later, and I'm like, you still haven't come and see me. Oh yeah, but I'll be busy. And I'm like, but they've still got time to carry on doing the thing that I'm telling them not to do.
I used to feel that way. I gave up trying to convince people.
I know. But when it's people that you think the world of and care about, you know, and you know in the absolute, like, I don't fail with anybody now, with anything. It don't matter what it is, you know, because you know there's 7 causes to everything. You just got to find them. Yeah. And it's not, you know. It just, I just find it really sad, because I just want to help these people. Because I want to help everybody.
I tried it with my dad, and you know, he just didn't want to listen. So in the end, he was doing. Pardon? What? Hey?
Moving on.
You know, trying to help my dad. He just didn't want to know. He wanted the pill that was going to take it away. Yeah. He didn't want to.
That's
understand.
what they want. They just want the tablet.
And in the end, I had to let it go, because it was actually harming me more than it was him. He did let me help him do one thing. I got rid of his panic attacks for him. Yeah. Because he's. But the rest of it, he just wouldn't. Wouldn't. And sometimes you have to let people go, because, you know, in my experience of that, what I've learned is that actually when we think someone shouldn't have something or should be better, that's really our judgment of it, and that's not really necessarily the case. Yeah. Some people are perhaps meant to have that problem for a specific reason later down the line that we don't know about, or they're supposed to keep it for a bit longer, or such and such. Yeah. So to me, I've learned that's too much of a judgment on my part. So now I just let people come to me. I might express and say, look, well, you know, if you ever want to talk to me about that, I can help you. And then I'd leave them. I'd wait till they come to me. And sometimes they come to me a couple of years later. Sometimes they come to me straight away. I play the long game.
Do you play the long game?
I'm like a long con man. I play the long game. I've had people do that. You know, they've had my number for a couple of years. It takes them a couple of years to reach out and call me. And then when they do, they're normally ready for it. You know, at that point, they're just not ready. And some, I tend not to get that so much now. But you know, in the past, I would get people start and they just not really get better.
Talk about it, won't we? So anyway,
So anyway,
that's a 29-minute ramble. That was only meant to be like
bloody hell.
Little introduction.
Yes.
So anyway, how are you, mate? Let me introduce you.
You don't need to introduce me. Don't know who I am.
I got the lovely, the cuddly, and the wonderful John. Hello, John. How are you? So welcome to the studio.
Yeah, welcome to the studio.
Yes,
lovely. It's good to be here.
I did have the wild and the wonderful and the accomplished and the magician himself, the amazing John.
Oh, okay, but that would have been good. Say, we'll do it next time. Repeat it.
No, we're bothering anymore. Like this. Say them announcements.
Yeah, exactly. You don't need to make an announcement. They know I'm wonderful by now. They should know that I'm amazing and fantastic.
I'll have to change the.
I'm the greatest. I'm the best. Oh no, that's Danger Mouse.
Yes, Danger Mouse.
So
you're right. We had a lovely evening Thursday, didn't we? We went to the Malden Christmas market.
Yes, it was frigging cold.
Yeah, it was really nice.
But it was very nice. And then we went for Chinese afterwards, didn't we?
Oh, what an amazing place that was.
That was really nice.
Unbelievable. I got to say, I was blown away by how good the food was there.
Yeah.
But anyway, I enjoyed it. I had they had all these little vans along Malden, right?
Yeah.
And I sort of sampled a few of their Christmas drinks. Some mulled wine and some hot toddies with mango and ginger, and then there was another one with Bailey's hot chocolates and Christmas cocktails. It was very nice.
Yeah, my girlfriend got back from that and didn't feel very well.
Didn't she?
No, she'd had a bit too much.
Really?
Yeah. She'd had a bit too much.
I didn't think that bad, really.
No, she's just not used to drinking it, so she doesn't normally. So she'd mix a few things up.
Roasted chestnuts as well, a packet of them.
No, they're okay. I've had the medication. Oh no, I see what you mean.
There's some cream for that. We're going to go on to that actually, aren't we?
What, some cream on roasted chestnuts?
Yeah,
you told me you weren't going to mention it.
Yeah, it was nice. We bumped into Sam because I know Sam's watching. If you're watching Sam,
hi,
it's
Sam.
good to see you too.
Bumped into Sam.
Yeah, it's lovely.
Bumped into Julie. Hey Julie, if you're watching.
Yeah,
it was like
knew everybody.
Yeah. My friend Maddie was there as well, but I didn't bump into her. I just heard it.
You just knew she was there.
She told me the other day. She told me she was
great.
The
rock and roll van.
I love the rock and roll music.
Mate,
and there were lots of people there as well. It was a good atmosphere. Everyone was out.
The only two people wearing a mask were the coppers.
Exactly.
How funny was that?
No, I saw two coppers not wearing masks as well. Yeah. I saw.
Report then.
Yeah.
Arrested.
Well, I thought it was weird because I saw two coppers with masks and I saw two coppers without masks. I'm like, wait a minute.
You know why they were wearing those masks?
No,
because they're there to protect the people. Yes, so they've got to go in full attire now.
But it was a nice like.
They must have had heads up on the Omicron variant. Just heads
up. You might know it's coming.
It's coming. So
it was coming to Malden.
Spread it to anybody.
But no, apart from that, I went away weekend past. Just got to Manchester for a little break with my girlfriend.
Right. Yeah, you did, didn't you?
Stayed in a nice hotel. I love hotel rooms. I absolutely love hotel rooms. It's brilliant.
Are you into them now?
I'm into hotel rooms. Well, I'm not in them now. I'm in your kitchen.
Yeah, I know.
I'm in the studio.
Yeah.
But no, I like.
Is it because I sent you an hour money and since then you've like?
No, I've always loved hotel rooms. Sometimes when I was single, if I need a break from where I was, I'll just go off. Book a hotel, because you leave during the day. They come in and clean. You
subscribe to the channel, stay there all night.
Exactly. Just order room service, quiet room. No one knows you're there. No one bothers you. Switch your phone off. That's how I got into the Big Bang Theory. Actually,
is that what it's called now? That channel?
No, that's what it's called.
The Big Bang channel.
No, but the TV show.
I tell you what, mate, it's a little bit too much information.
Well, it wasn't such a Big Bang.
It's expensive that channel. Isn't it? It's for too long.
Well, no, I don't know. It came free with a room. I don't know. But that's how I found some great TV shows. I've often gone off to a hotel room and watched something, and then and just got into it, and that's how. So no, I like a good hotel room.
So where did you go when you was up there?
We went to Harry Potter Experience.
Lovely.
Harry Potter Forest Experience. Near Manchester. So not the studio tour. Yeah, Cheshire. Yeah. It was very good. It was very good. Do it at night because I don't think it would be the same during the day. But they had some really good special effects, and we had a hot chocolate and donut walking through, and then we got food outside of it in the village bit. And they did some really good scenes. They did the Aragorn bit where it comes out the forest and the spiders come down. So it was a really good. It was about an hour walking through. So I really enjoyed that. And then we did some shopping in Manchester town, which I've never been to Manchester before.
I like it.
Yeah, it was nice. And then spent a couple of nights and came back. So it was a nice little break before the Christmas rush. Because at Christmas time, I do a lot of injuries. Ideal because at Christmas time
people
we're all doing
tripping over their Christmas tree.
Well, we're all doing winter sports. They're all tripping over, injuring themselves because it's cold.
Slipping on the ice.
They trap nerves as well because it's cold. You trap a nerve, you know. Okay. That's the traditional viewpoint anyway. I know it's not really what happens, but that is the traditional viewpoint.
You're contradicting yourself everything we say, man. What are you talking about?
I know. Cause
and effect.
So people think that is. So I get a lot of injuries this time of year. But I do want to say, because I know we've done podcasts on beliefs before, but I had a client come to me and his belief system was really holding him back. And he may be listening. He started listening to podcasts. And basically, so he came to me. He'd listened to our podcast about injuries.
Yeah.
And he'd had an injury. He was walking along a train station platform, fell over, injured his finger. And since then, he was scared to walk.
So his finger?
Yeah, he was just scared. He didn't actually do much damage to it, but he was scared. And then a bit later on, he developed...
a toe and never getting out of bed.
It's
too risky that.
It's an unusual thing, but they also developed foot pain from it as well. And so we cleared all the fear. But when we went to work with the foot pain, there were some beliefs because he is actually a trained medic. So traditionally, he's trained in medicine. So he was believing there was something wrong. Now, I'd looked at the foot, so I knew there was nothing wrong. Yeah. There was no damage. But the belief that it was damaged because he felt pain was so strong, it took me a while to switch the belief off.
Yeah.
And that's so important to understand about beliefs. You can believe there's something wrong with you, even when you're trained and know. A lot of the belief came from the fact he could hear the bones crunching when he put his foot down. So he believed there was damage. Now, I'm not saying at times there can't be because of that, but I looked at the foot. There was no damage. So I knew there wasn't. And that's the problem. You need to make sure that what you believe is true. Sometimes people get told there's damage when there isn't, and by traditional medicine, because they don't really know what they're talking about. But in this case, his medical knowledge, his belief system, although he trusted me implicitly, he's been to me for years with other things, it was overriding, and it was overriding what I was telling him, and it was holding his foot back from getting better. Yeah. When I finally switched the belief off, his pain went away. Yeah. Because it was the belief holding it, and even the crunching stopped.
Yeah, but
because it's belief that was actually causing that. And I really want people to try and understand how powerful your beliefs are. Your beliefs can cause you pain. They can cause you to keep you stuck. They can cause you all types of illnesses. They might not start with a belief, but a belief from the past.
Through it.
A belief is either formed through it, or a belief from your knowledge about a subject, or a belief from anywhere can keep it running and keep the problem in place.
The reason why that guy is suffering that, it's all right for me to tell you the reason why, the cause of that.
Yes.
Because information is stored in the logical brain. So when we learn stuff academically, information is stored in the logical brain, which doesn't have any relevance on our decisions on our behaviours, because all of our decisions and behaviours come from the mid-limbic brain, which is the emotional brain. That's where the beliefs are stored. Yeah. So even if you have you go and learn all this information, all this knowledge, if you have a belief, it will override everything. Exactly. Because the decisions that you're making is from the emotional brain and not the logical brain. And this is where everybody gets wrong. I need to learn information. I need to find out more stuff. I need to read books. I need to do this. I need to do that, because something's not working in their life. And what problem is as soon as you start reading information that actually relates to the problem, and you have a contradicting belief to it, you will get stuck in a loop of thinking that you need to keep learning more information, more information, because the problem hasn't gone. It's not the information or the knowledge that's the problem, it's the belief.
Yeah.
And I have a girl that I've been working with for the last 4 weeks who's had, which come and saw you, had a really bad car accident.
Yes.
And her right leg she can't move it. And she has real bad problems with her leg. It will spasm out, and she's had it for a long time, but it's ever since her car accident. And I was been trying to clear the last little bit of why it keeps triggering and going all funny and giving way. And this Saturday, I was getting frustrated, but I'm like, there's something, because I'm going through all that, there's something missing. And so I said, okay, just forget about that. I said, well, we'll get there. So I just took her out of the process. I said, we will get there. I said, but what's your thoughts on it? She goes, well, I just don't believe it's ever going to go away.
There you go.
Thanks. Shut your eyes.
There you go.
As soon as I got her to say that, I said, is the belief that you're never ever going to get rid of it and you're going to have it for life working for you? No. And then I reprogrammed that belief, and it all went.
Yeah.
And it was that one belief.
Yep.
I was holding all of this stuff in, because it didn't matter what I did, and no matter what I cleared, and what responses or images I'd removed from the whole event.
Yeah.
The underlying belief was it's never ever going to go away, and I'm stuck with it for life.
And that belief is a common belief that we have. We've had something for a long time, and it also holds it in place. if you don't believe you're ever going to get rid of it, no matter what you do, you won't get rid of it.
Correct.
So you have to clear that belief. You have to remove that belief from your system and know, I'm dribbling now, and know that it is possible to get rid of it. And I had that with a client, and you've had it with your client. And that is a mass. So your beliefs are very important. They don't always start the problem, but they can keep the problem running.
Correct.
Even when you've dealt with the root cause.
And this also causes problems when you're actually looking to resolve a problem and you have beliefs, for example, about crystals that may somehow have these magic healing things, that these crystals can go into your brain and recode all of the stuff from an event. But the belief of that means we'll keep investing your time and effort into crystals or other things, not just crystals, but you might like crystals are nice, don't get me wrong, right? But other things, thinking it's actually going to heal you, but now you're trapped in that belief system that it's actually healing when it's probably not, and now you're going to have that problem forever and ever and ever and ever and ever, because actually that isn't going to actually do anything. It's not going to do anything. It's not going to sort anything out, you know. So and also other types of things that we do. We have to actually go to the event and actually resolve the event. The event that's actually happened, not think that if we go for a run over Highlands and be with nature every day and go for a walk, somehow that's going to change how you're thinking and feeling, and it's going to resolve some digestive problem or or your depression or whatever, because depression's got nothing to do with exercise at all.
No, and you have to let go of what you're doing, because if you keep doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a result, you're insane. I actually just saved someone a fortune. I've got a lovely testimonial from her. It's actually my mum's cleaner. And I only met her a few months ago, because she never used to work the day I was at my mum's, but I bumped into her and she was telling me that her dog had eczema on her skin, or a skin irritation on her ear, and some other problems with the ear, and she's about to take to the vet. And I said, look, before you do that, if I give you something to do, will you try it? Will you do it? And she was open enough to say yes. So I was like, okay, if you don't want to do it, tell me now. I won't bother telling you. But she said, no, I'll do it. So I just taught a basic DTO for pets. I taught the basic DTO version to use on animals. And I said, look, do it for a week, twice a day, and see what results you get. There was not going to be any harm waiting a few days before she goes to vets. I said, if it works, you see a result, keep doing it until it goes. Anyway, so she said to me, I saw her the other day, she said, oh my God, you've saved me a fortune. She said, the first week, I slowly started to see the symptoms get better. 3 weeks later, all problems gone. So all I did was I told her the conflict that the dog was going through, and she went, oh my God, yes, that's what it is, because, and then she told me the reason in the environment. And so I told her to work on that and work on the symptoms using the basic DTO process. And within 3 weeks, and she literally came and said, you've saved me a fortune. Because she would have gone to the vet, she would have paid for x-ray, she would have paid for medication.
But like going to the doctors.
But like going to the doctors, we don't pay doctors. But the problem is, people spend so much money at these things, when actually it was a very simple thing to resolve, because the stress was very obvious in the environment. So you can save so much time and effort just by treating the root cause of the problem.
We don't like going to the root cause. We like to go and do something, because it makes us feel good, and makes us feel like we're doing something about it. But you're not. You're actually just prolonging the pain, prolonging the suffering, spending loads of money on diet, crystals, this, that, and the other, and you're still going to have your problem. Oh no, but that didn't work. Let's do something else. Oh, that didn't work. Let's do something else. And then just keep doing that. But anyway, But
I do want to say something. I had so when we first started the podcast, all those years back, how long ago was it now? 2 years now?
3 years, 2.5, 3 years.
So when we first started, I was a little bit. 2.5 years.
Yeah.
Wow. Is it time we got divorced?
I know, you'd have thought loads of people have learned stuff by now.
Well, no, this is my point. This is what I'm about to say. So when we first started, and I think it was your suggestion, wasn't it? It was yours, I was like, well, we can't heal people through the podcast. So what's the point? I'll be honest, that's what I thought. I thought, what's the point? Because we can't heal anybody through the podcast. You'd have to come and see us. So all we're doing is literally telling people things. And I at the time I couldn't see the point in that. That was my limiting belief. So we all have them. I'm not fallible. I'm not fallible, Anyway, so one of my clients, he actually he's been seeing me for a couple of months, and he was at work and he put like 4 of our podcasts on all at once because he loves podcasts. And he said I was going to message you and go, do you know any good podcasts? And he suddenly went, oh, maybe he's got one. So he looked it up and we had one. Because I forget to tell people.
More than one. We've got 50
of
them.
Yeah. But so I forget to tell people. So he said, I listened to them, and he said, I realised some of the things I was doing, and he said, I need to clear this, this, and this. So my point is that I'm actually really pleased because people have actually learned from it. People have actually, they can see their mistakes, they can see where they're going wrong, and that motivates them to maybe do something about it. So I never thought that it would be quite such a powerful thing that people actually learn and go, oh, I can see myself doing that.
I've had 4 or 5 people that I know really well who watched the back one we did about backs.
Oh, yes.
And all 5 of them said, it's like you were describing me in that podcast. I was like, no shit, Sherlock.
Well, it's not my first time.
I know, it's so funny. Everyone says it was like you're describing me. And I had five different people all say the same thing, because we are all the same. But But anyway, I mean, we haven't even got onto the skin bit yet, and it's like 45 minutes in.
Oh, we better get onto skin then.
Yeah, well, I've got so much I wanted to talk about my work as well.
Oh,
actually.
Yes. We'll go on. Do 30 seconds on your work. Go.
I've been really, really busy, and I've healed everyone, and it's been really great and successful. And we're all really happy now.
So skin.
So move on.
No, go on.
So I just wanted to say, actually, this last 3 weeks, I have been so busy.
You've been super busy.
Super busy. Yeah. I have been really busy. Not so much this week. I've actually been out doing some other bits, but I've been, honestly, the last few weeks been crazy busy. And but most of the people that have come to see me have all had sexual conflicts.
Okay.
Always sexual conflicts.
Yeah.
There's been abuses. I don't want to go too much. It's much.
No.
There's been a lot of sexual abuse.
Yes.
From past relationships and other stuff. And I've healed all of those really, really quickly. There's also been stuff around people who have fear and anxiety of actually being intimate and connecting with somebody.
Yes.
Right. And that's been a massive thing. And that's taken quite a bit. That's going to be a bit of a big one, because that's a really deep rooted issue. But even that's made a massive difference. And that's also really helped her. And now she's also been able to engage a lot more in that as well. And so I've had a lot of stuff where, you know, and before, when I started doing this, when people would come to me with those issues, it would trigger the crap out of me, and I didn't want to go there, and I felt ashamed to ask the questions. And now I'm like, it's that. I poke them around, and then these people have been brilliant. And not, you know, one particular person did not want to tell me what happened. She didn't want to tell me. It was like so ashamed. She was so ashamed of whatever it was, but she didn't want to tell me.
Yeah.
And it took me 45 minutes, and I healed the whole event. And she didn't divulge one piece of information about the whole event to me.
Yeah.
I was able to navigate the whole thing, because I knew that she didn't want to tell me. Yeah. So I was being really clever in the questions that I asked. So it didn't put her on the spot. And she was obviously being clever with the answers she was trying to give me without telling me any. And I healed the whole conflict in 45 minutes.
Yeah.
The whole thing, and I don't. So I still don't even know what it was. No. I don't need to know.
No, you can do that with memories.
With memories, you
can do it without having to. Obviously, it's a little harder to do it like that.
Yeah.
But yes, you can do it without having to know what information
I was
is.
really chuffed a bit with that one.
Yeah.
Because it was a really difficult one for her, and I think it was quite bad. But yeah, I managed to get rid of the whole thing, and I haven't got a clue.
No.
I haven't got a clue what it was, and I was able to heal the whole event, the PTSD around it. She had loads of physical pain in her groin area as well. That all went by the end of it. Brilliant. And she was completely healed from that. And also the disconnect from the person as well. She had no animosity or hate or fear or anxiety around that person. It was just like it didn't happen, you know. So that was really, really good this week. And so I had quite a lot of that. I've had quite a lot of that. There's a lot more as well, actually, that I've but obviously I've had loads of them. I've had loads of sexual conflicts.
It's actually really common. So many people have sexual issues, and some people have sexual issues. They might not have had abuse, but they have beliefs or they have shames and guilt about it that they don't realise. What's really nice, we all have different conflicts. I mean, I had some conflicts when I was younger, embarrassing scenarios. Not actually necessarily to do with sex, but not the act of sex, but sexual scenarios.
Yeah.
Have that effect on us. They embarrass us. They make us feel ashamed.
Yeah, it can be as well. So
shyness.
Yeah, exactly, is that as well, and confidence issues and stuff as well. But what I'm really pleased about is that these people were. What for me was, even though it was probably one of the most no-go areas, they didn't even want to. They were still trusted me enough to be able to tell me that was going on, and I've been able to heal that from them, and now it's not an issue for them. And in particular, one person I'm very, very close with. So, to be able to reveal some of those issues that are running for her, knowing her as well as I do, I think she's a fucking superstar, because it's very difficult for anyone to do that. But in the meantime, the good thing about it is that we are getting some success out of it, and it is working, and so I'm really chuffed to bits with that. But so lots of sexual stuff, and just been it's just been a lot of it. I've had a couple of new people come in as well with loads of physical pain, neck pain, shoulder pain, and back pain, and they've been to see specialists again, Jonathan.
All those
people,
specialists.
People
love the specialists.
One person went to see a neurologist for her pain, and she
yeah.
told her it was all this stuff going on. And when she came and saw me, it was just a load of anxiety.
Yeah,
and the anxiety was causing the pain. I switched off all the anxious responses,
and
all her pain ran away.
Yeah, exactly.
I was like, why are you going to see a specialist, a neurologist, a leading neurologist you've had waited months for? It's just, and they to tell you that it's something that it isn't.
No, I know. I loads of my clients have been to neurologists. I'm like, seriously?
No, I know.
I love it because the people think the specialist knows more than the doctor.
Yeah.
That's not true.
Well,
all the specialist is someone who understands a specific part of the body, the same as a doctor does, but a little bit more detail.
Yeah.
But they still follow the same frigging model.
I know.
So all it means is that if you have shoulder pain, you go to your GP. The GP understands the basic shoulder. If you go to a specialist, the specialist knows all the nerves and all the muscles and all the names and how they work and how they function, but it's still the same frigging concept. They just know the anatomy better. That's it. Yeah. They don't know anything different to the doctor about causes or anything. They label themselves specialists.
I know, this was funny as well. I had someone that said, well, I've been seeing a specialist for 7 years. And I'm like, well, he's not really a specialist.
Is he? No.
How can he be a specialist if you've been seeing him for 7 years and yet it's still there and you're in pain?
Wait.
Why are you seeing this specialist? He's not a specialist. He's actually a torturer. He's keeping you in pain for 7 years.
Yeah.
You know?
That's not a specialist. So, see, that's the problem. The problem is
there's a label. He's saying they've educated and they've got their label, so they know.
Yeah, I know. But the problem is, people they as I've said this before, if you want an expert in something, an expert is someone who solved the problem, not someone who's maintained the problem. Yeah. That's not an expert. Yeah. That's a moron. I mean, that's the original variant right there.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the original virus right there. That's
Dr. Omicron.
Dr. Omicron has come in and convinced you that they know what they're talking about, even though they haven't solved it. Yeah. That's insane behaviour. Why would you? That's like hiring the same plumber over and over again, but you still have the
There's
leak.
A flood.
There's a flood. Front of the kitchen. Bring back Pete. He knows what he's doing. How long have you been seeing him for? Oh, he's been fixing our pipes for 7 years. Has the flood ever gone? No. But he's a really lovely bloke.
He's a plumber.
He's a plumber.
He says he's a plumber. He says it on his card.
Yeah.
He's got letters after his name.
Yeah, I know. It's just insane behaviour.
He's Corgi registered. I mean, what more do you need?
Exactly. Yeah. He's been pack tested. Yeah. It's like, for fuck's sake. Stop going to people who never solve a problem. Doctors and nurses do not solve pain. They do not solve illness and disease. They maintain it. If you have a car accident, if you need an operation, they are wonderful. They do a great job.
Yeah, absolutely.
But if
break your leg, go and see them. They'll put it back together again.
But if you have illness but then don't make sure you get proper rehabilitation afterwards, you clear the trauma. Just to clarify that, 'cause if you don't, it won't work. But you need all of it. You need all of it.
This is fun.
But illness and disease and pain, they know jack shit, and they're following a model that was invented by a businessman. The model of medicine was created by a businessman, not a doctor. I mean, seriously. Yeah. I'd love to have been around when medicine was first created, when they went from leeches to pills. Yeah. You know, everyone was giving around leeches, and then a doctor came out and went, no, take this pill, and they all went, no, on a leech.
Well, it's Big Pharma.
And I'm like, how they convince people? I'd love to know the marketing person back
Did you know, like,
how they convince people?
Pharmakia is a Greek word.
Yeah.
Right? And that word is derivatives are pharmacy, pharmaceutical, and the other one, I can't remember the name very well. So, but anything to do with pharmacy, pharmaceuticals, right? And it comes from the Greek word called pharmakia, right? Yeah. And that means...
Do you want to try and roll?
No, that means wizardry, sorcery.
Oh, right? Yes,
and the use of drugs.
Oh, brilliant, fantastic.
So basically, So
you're talking wizardry and sorcery.
Wizardry and sorcery. It's all magic. It's all illusion, and it's all spells. That's what pharmakia is. And so the people that invented pharmaceutical comes from big oil. Yeah. So it's the oil company. So all you're doing is taking all these. I don't even go there. That's what the word pharmacy comes from. That comes from wizards, spells, and magic,
which is ridiculous.
Which is all bollocks. So it means that it's just been an illusion. It's all an illusion.
When actually the real magic is literally taking away someone's problem. Yeah. Within a few sessions, and them not having it any longer. I mean that to me is magical. That is the real magic.
Yeah, it is magical.
But for people, it's magical. I mean, people get their lives back.
Many people get their lives back. Yeah, and you tell these people, like the lady here is it. Yeah, well, I don't believe you. Why don't you believe me? I'm doing it all the time.
What, I'm lying? Why would I lie?
Yeah.
I don't understand. Why would we
No,
lie
I am.
to people?
I know what I do is I do podcasts.
Yeah.
I post videos of people.
Yeah.
What I do is I pay them to say that I've healed them.
Oh, that's what it is.
I get loads of people to write stuff about in testimonials and share it online because of which I paid them. Everything I do is not true.
No.
But then when you tell them what you do, they go, yeah, well, I don't believe it.
No.
Right? What do you mean you don't believe it?
Yeah.
It's just great. I just mental.
It's mental.
It's mental, isn't it?
But anyway, yeah. So, okay. So
So
you
loads of pain.
clients.
Yeah, and then there was a lady with the ovary.
Yeah.
Completely gone.
Yeah, it's gone now.
It's gone completely.
Fantastic.
Yeah. So there was that's all to do with a profound loss. So as we know,
Ovaries
any
are profound
ovaries.
loss.
So she had really bad ovary problems. Like I said, she was having really bad periods for 7 years. Saw specialists, and
I'm just gonna let the dog out.
yeah, go on. Saw specialists, and she come to me, and it's taken me 3 sessions, and I managed to heal all of it, and all to do with a profound loss, and it was all to do with losing her father and losing members of her family, which caused the conflict, which made that area play up. And once I switched it all off, that's now all healed up, which is great for me because. She was recommended to me by a friend and she struggled for a long time with that. So really, really happy with that. And then there was another lady that come to see me. She had really bad neck. Again, another lady who had bad shoulders, neck and back pain. And in her very, very first session with me, I managed to get rid of the whole lot. I got rid of all of her back pain. And I got rid of all of her shoulder pain, which was a massive burden that she had. And it was all to do with events from the past that she was carrying. Yeah. And her neck was lots of injustices. Yeah. And one of the injustices was when she found out that her fella was transvestite and they'd had a child. Mm. And so that was a bit of a shock for her.
It would be a massive shock.
Yeah.
And a huge shock for somebody.
Yeah. So that caused a lot of her pain. And so anyway, I switched off all of the responses of hearing that shock and what that meant to her and got all that. Now she's free of pain of that as well. Brilliant. So yeah, so that's really that's sort of been my I had much more to talk about. I've been so busy. And I'm doing another testimonial tomorrow, another video testimonial. Oh, brilliant. So I'm putting that out there so people can say, I don't believe what you do, Steve. I mean, it's good, but I don't believe it. I don't believe it. So anyway, so we're an hour in.
So an hour in.
We're an hour in.
I've probably lost them
people
by now.
They can't listen to bloody skin disorders.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Okay, so skin.
Skin, yeah. So now we're going to talk about the real cause of skin disorders and how to heal eczema, acne, rosacea and warts. And I did put on the go on, it's cold, isn't it? I did put on the advert that I put out, John, which was are you currently experiencing or suffering with a skin disorder or complaint, but you've not been able to completely heal it or resolve it? Yeah. I.e., you're managing it and it's been there for years and years. Have you tried to use diet, herbs, oils, creams and other forms of medication, but are still having an issue and it's ongoing, which people do. They'll just keep buying more and more cream and that cream didn't work, but I've been told to use it. I just keep putting it on. E45.
Yeah, E45.
And then, have
Aloe vera.
Aloe vera. Hello, darling. Or have you also sought professional help from doctors or dermatologists or other therapists, but still have to manage and live with the complaint? So that's the setup for that. So should we dive into the world of skin, which is actually an organ?
It is an organ, yes.
People don't realise that it's an organ, but actually a lot of skin conflicts. I mean, I've healed several skin conflicts successfully. One of my video testimonials is a skin conflict. So let's dive into the world of skin.
The world of skin.
Yeah, and what causes it?
This is actually an interesting one because the learning about the skin actually showed me and made me see how powerful meta is at understanding why we have problems. Because when I learned about the skin, it suddenly fell into place, more acne specifically. When I learned the cause of acne, it all fell into place and made sense for me. Because if we take acne as an example, just for a moment, that doctors say... And what?
And Islington.
Acne, Islington, and
West End.
I don't know about that, so if you and Barking, I was going to say, if you take acne as an example, this really showed me the power of meta. Because the reason I love meta and the analysis is because it makes sense. It explains things that are not explainable. Now, so if we look at the traditional viewpoint of acne, is, in teenage, it's your hormones and stuff like that. Yeah. And I never got acne when I was a kid. Now, when I was a teenager. And the thing with that is that, I went to the same hormones. So So what's the difference? And so that would never make sense to me. If one person gets it, another person doesn't, what is the difference? Some teenagers don't get it, some teenagers do. And the traditional model just doesn't make sense. When you understand, which I'm going to explain now, what the actual cause of acne is, then it will make sense. And it makes perfect sense as why I didn't get acne as a child. And basically, just to backtrack a little bit, the skin has two different conflicts because there are two layers of the skin. There's the epidermis and the dermis. So it's a little bit more complex than what we've discussed before. But there's the epidermis and the dermis. I always get them mixed up which one it is. But one is a top layer, which is the sensitiveness of our skin, how we feel contact with somebody, how we touch, feeling heat, feeling sensations. And the other one is the below layer.
Contact with the outside world.
Contact with the outside world. And the layer below it is our protection. It's what protects us from things coming into our body that we don't want. It protects us from the weather and all the chemicals and toxins that we don't need.
Does it protect you from the hand sanitizer?
It should do until the hand sanitizer washes it off. So the two layers. And the acne is a protection issue. So it's the second layer of the skin, the one underneath. And that's a protection issue because we're feeling attacked. And that made so much sense because some teenagers, they feel attacked. They feel attacked by their friends. They feel attacked by their peers. They feel attacked by their teachers. They're constantly feeling under attack.
Or they're attacking themselves because they're not good enough. They're no good at sport. Everyone else is better. He's better looking than me. She don't. All that constantly.
Yeah. Because I never had that as a teenager. I never felt attacked as a teenager. So now that makes perfect sense. That's why I didn't get acne. And that makes sense why certain cultures get acne, like Chinese get it because their culture is they are attacked, they lose face.
Yeah, and also not only that as well is that when they come home to this country, people they get mocked.
Yes,
they get mocked.
Yeah. So any attack, if you perceive it as an attack, then it can hit your skin, and that's why you can get as an adult as well. Where anytime I see someone with spots, I'll often say to them, "So you're feeling attacked in life?" And they'll go, "Well, yeah," because I know that they are. So once I understood that, the whole meta thing fell into place. I was like, it really made so much sense to me just from that one conflict. So that's acne. Very simple, very basic conflict.
Yeah, so the first thing is that all skin complaints really are protection and separation conflicts.
Yeah. So the second layer, the top layer, is a separation issue or a contact issue. So it's either feeling separated from someone or someone coming in contact that you don't want to come in contact with you.
I know. I always come out in a rash on a Monday morning.
You do? Yeah. I know.
And then once you've gone, I'm all right.
Yes, okay. It's all right again. It's good. I was going to kick him and give him another conflict in his ankle and slightly up.
I won't say I'll be covered in spots by the morning.
No, you would be if I stayed the night. So the eczemas are separation conflicts. So eczema is where eczema is a very interesting one again, because with eczema, with all conditions, there are two parts to it. But with eczema, there is an obvious two parts to it. So with eczema, people who have eczema, when they're in a stress state, which is your sympathetic nervous system, the skin will go white and flaky, and it will be very desensitized. So you won't have much sensation at that point. If it's only a small area, you probably won't notice that. But if it's a big area, you will notice the desensitization, and it's white and flaky. When you move into repair, when you move into your parasympathetic nervous system, that's when it becomes red and itchy. That's when it becomes irritative. And then what they do is they put the creams on. The creams put it back to stress, so it goes white and flaky. You think it's gone. You stop using the creams, and you come forward to red and itchy again. So once I understood that, again, it made so much sense. So when they say, the babies get eczema on their lips from the milk, it's not. It's because they're being ripped away from their mother's breast. That's the separation conflict. Or as one of my, it wasn't one of my clients. It was one of the
you're trying to protect yourself from your mum.
Well, possibly.
I want any milk.
No, I don't want milk. Fuck off. No, one of the therapists giving an example. It was actually the mum and dad had a separation, and he would kiss his kid on the lips every time he would leave, and that was a separation issue. It was his dad coming back in contact with him again. So eczema is a separation issue.
Yeah, I was going to say, I had a 10-year-old girl.
Yep.
And she came with her mum.
Yep.
Same thing. been to all the doctors and done all this stuff. And anyway, it was a friend of ours that recommended her to it. It was her daughter. She come to me in one session. I removed 90% of her eczema. So the next day it had all gone.
Yeah.
And that was all to do with being separated from her dad and the dad's mum. So them two had split up.
Yeah.
And she no longer was seeing him and no longer seeing mum because of COVID, the lockdown. So she was no longer seeing her grandmother and she was no longer seeing her dad. And she had this separation conflict and it just done her.
Yeah.
And poor little thing, she blamed herself. There's loads of guilt and shames all around that.
Yeah.
And as soon as I got rid of all of those, 90% of her, one session, nearly all of it's gone.
Oh, wow.
And that was the separation. Again, separation conflicts. But she was only 10.
Yeah.
And she was amazing. She was like, went straight to the response. Yeah. I said, what do you, so do you know what feeling guilty means? She's like, yeah. I said, okay. So when you think about your dad leaving, I feel guilty because it's all my fault. I was like, she just rattled them off.
Wow.
And she's just 10-year-old girl. Yeah, it was really smart. Yeah. And but that helped me just get rid of it all pretty much in less than an hour. And I spoke to the friend later and she said, oh, yeah, no, because I hadn't heard from them. Yeah. Which is a bit weird. You sort
I was going to say, you think they would
some people come get healed and I never hear from them ever again.
No, I know. It's
I know, but but I did find out that it was all pretty much resolved. So I'm really happy about that.
It's amazing how quick the body heals from something like that. I mean, people don't realise these things almost come on instantaneously, but they can go very quickly as well. You know, almost overnight sometimes. So that's an incredible case, especially for kids because they don't.
Yeah,
having eczema. I mean, I've never had eczema.
Yeah.
So you know, I don't feel separated.
It's all over, top to bottom.
Wow, that's incredible.
And I managed all to go in sort of like 90% of it. He said 90% of it, but
yeah, that's incredible.
10-year-old girl.
So
separation conflict.
So that's acne and eczema. Now, psoriasis is actually slightly different. It's a little bit more complicated. I'm not going to go into too much detail, but I'm going to just explain it. Psoriasis is actually two separation conflicts at the same time, one in the stress state and one in the repair state. So that means you're feeling separated from two different scenarios. One is in the red and itchy state and one is in the white and flaky state, and they're being triggered off at different times or simultaneously. So it becomes a bit more complex. That's why psoriasis is much harder to get rid of traditionally, because it's two conflicts at once.
That's interesting to know.
Yeah,
I didn't know that one. So every day's a school day, Jonathan, as you well know.
Yeah. So
okay, that's interesting. I'm going to make a point of that. So it's two conflicts. So we have a separation and a protection running at the same time. It's
two separations.
Two separations.
Right. But one's in the stress.
Won't forget that.
So one is in the stress and one is in the repair.
Yeah.
So although the conflicts, they go through stress and repair, and they should do, but they don't always. Sometimes we get stuck in a phase for a long period of time.
Yeah.
So one is stuck in the stress and one is stuck in the repair.
Yeah.
They may then get fired off differently.
Depending on the triggers.
Yeah. But that's why it looks worse, feels worse, much more complex.
Okay, so there you go. Look, so we're not only just teaching or educating people who are listening. I'm learning shit as well. It's great. Podcast is just learning things. You learn things from me.
Exactly.
When you do the quizzes.
I do the quizzes. That's right.
Which we're not doing tonight, by the way.
We're not doing the quiz tonight. We haven't got time.
But and I've just learned about psoriasis, which is really interesting because I've not had anyone with that. So what's going to happen this week?
You'll get psoriasis.
I'm going to get psoriasis.
We won't get pirasis.
No, I won't get it. Well, it depends.
No,
unless I run two separation conflicts.
Yeah. We said at the same time.
We did.
Shakespeare. No, wasn't Jimmy Smoke. Anyway, so that's eczema and acne. Now, rosacaria or rosacea, however you say it, I'm dyslexic.
Rosacea.
I don't know. It's rosacaria, rosacea or something. That again is a protection issue, but it's more of a rash base rather than like severe spots. But it's still a protection issue. It's still to do with I believe the dermis is the second layer down. But don't quote me. I should have double check with my girlfriend and being a beautician. So again, that's more rash based. But that is a protection issue.
Great.
But there'll be a loss of face in there as well because it tends to cover, like it spreads over the face. The spots are very specific where they are. There might be loads of them, but they're very specific where they are. So it's a protection issue. It's like knives coming out to protect you. Whereas the rash, it's protection, but it will be more of a loss of face as well because it's spreading over the face or the area that is there. So there'll be the territory issue.
I just want to ask you something. So, and for the people that are watching, you know when people just constantly have a red head?
Yes.
Like a lobster, they're constantly red like a beetroot all the time. What is that conflict?
Well, it depends what the organ is. I mean, that could be their blood circulation system.
Okay.
So, it could be the skin, so you have to need to find what what the organ is. So if you find that if it's the skin, then you know what the conflict is. If it's the circulation, you know what the conflict is.
Yeah.
So depending on what is causing it.
Yeah. Just I have someone whose face is always red, and they're coming to see me this week.
Okay.
And I've not gone there because I've actually done all of the separation and conflicts on that, and it's still there. So I'm just wondering what else, what am I missing with that one?
Well, it could be circulation. You'd have to find what organ is creating
the
it.
circulation thing would make a lot of sense. And
Yeah,
so I've already just worked out what that
circulation might be. I'd go to circulation.
Yeah.
Because that sounds like their face is just heating up.
Yeah, it's always bright red.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's good just warm your hands up on one. That's what I do when someone goes bright red.
When a client comes round, I know it's really cold, but just before we start.
Exactly. Yeah, I know.
Causing more conflicts.
I know, exactly.
You're attacking me. Now even more red.
I came in one thing, I got another thing now.
Yeah.
So that's eczema, acne, rosacea or rosacea, however you say it.
Psoriasis as well. We covered
psoriasis, yeah. And the other thing that is not as common, but warts and things like that. Now, warts are a defilement conflict. They are a disgust, shame type conflict. We get warts when we feel dirty or defiled in some way. So it's a dirty conflict, but there's a lot of shame mixed in.
That's why I'm wartless then.
Is that why you're wartless, is it? Yeah.
But my mind is covered in them.
Is it? Mine's covered in warts.
Yeah, dirty mind.
You've got a dirty mind. Yeah. I've got an image of that now. I wish I hadn't seen that. Some things you just can't unsee. And now I have a picture of Steve's brain covered in warts.
Lovely.
I suppose it could have been worse.
No, I didn't say my brain was there. I said my mind was.
Your mind was.
Yeah, it's different from the brain. Yeah, mind isn't brain.
No,
brain's the
brain.
Organ that just does stuff. It's not the mind. Is completely different.
Yeah.
Let's get really technical.
Well, your brain's not in your head anyway, is it?
No.
So, no.
Some people say ain't. No, you're right.
Yours, no. So anyway, I digress.
It's on a TV screen for most people. Yeah, I need to think for myself today. Quick, put the news on.
Yeah, exactly. What should I tell?
What should I think today?
Yeah. What do I need to
what
think?
Am I allowed to think?
What do I need to be frightened of when I go out today? Let me see. I'll turn on the news and let them tell me what to be scared of. But no, warts are a defilement or a dirty conflict. My girlfriend's daughter
is she covered in warts?
Yeah, no, she actually has on one of her hands.
Yeah.
She got some warts come
up. She didn't have until she met you.
No, she didn't. That's right. I know, yeah. That's the problem. That's why we've been trying to switch off.
Switch you off.
I'm still here, so can't switch me off. I never stop. And she's going to a conflict that is like that. And I remember a story from one of the instructors when I was learning Meta. He was given an example of a kid who got a wart on his toe after kicking a hole in a fence. And
how did he kick a hole?
Well, no, he kicked in the dirt and then lifted the fence up. So he was, and he felt so ashamed of it, and he felt dirty by it because he did something wrong.
Yeah.
And that's what caused the wart to come up. So wart's all about dirty and defilement, and there's obviously lots of shame in there.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting.
So different types of conflicts.
Yeah.
So skin is fascinating because it is different conflicts and different types of problems, and sometimes they're a little bit more complicated, like the psoriasis.
And I think for anybody that's watching right now, who is obviously got children, you need to be aware that when you are potentially psychologically attacking them, or because they're not doing what you want on your terms, like great parenting does, realize that if they are coming out with acne, you might be the cause. You're right. Yeah. So, but you need to accept and admit that you may be the cause and not rush them off to the doctors and go, oh, it's terrible, it's his age. Yeah. Oh, it's age. No, run to the family. No, actually, they're feeling attacked generally when they come out with acne and that. So,
my girlfriend actually had that look like. Now, my girlfriend is an advanced beautician. She does aesthetics, so she actually treats people when they've had things go wrong and they've had tucks and things and Botox and it's gone wrong. My girlfriend actually fixes it. But she did have a young girl come and see her with acne, and my girlfriend knows what I do. She totally gets it. She thinks it's great. Help switch off her son's headaches. And it was literally the mum that was causing the girl to have acne.
Yeah.
So my girlfriend's trying to treat it naturally, which she does very well. But she could see that actually the mum was the cause, because every time they were at her salon, the mum literally just kept attacking the daughter.
Yeah.
and having a go at her. So she knew what the conflict was, but she obviously couldn't really resolve it. So it's not nobody's fault, but just be mindful of it, because you can actually resolve it. And we don't blame. It's no one's fault if you are constantly your children.
If you are constantly attacking your kids, and stop it. You need to be there to support them, love them, and help them. Because all you're doing is teaching them to attack people. Yes,
but it's nobody's fault. It's just a program you're running. So it's not to blame anybody. It's just if you are doing it and spot that and go, well, am I doing that? And then do your best to stop it, because then the acne will go down.
Yes.
Obviously, the emotional response might still be running, so they may need that switched off. But if you stop doing it, and one of my clients, she was getting back pain. One of the reasons she's getting back pain was she kept getting walked over by kids.
Yeah.
But I had to retrain her to re-communicate with her children, with her son. And then when these kids were 18 and 21, I had to teach her to re-communicate with her boys, because she was nagging them and she was feeling walked over because they weren't doing what she wanted.
Yeah.
I was like, well, that's because you're literally communicating. You're telling them what you want to do, but they're teenagers. Yeah. They're not going to do it.
Yes.
Accept that and move on. And she did listen to me, bless her. She's a lovely lady. I really like her. And her back pain vanished and went away, which is great. And she learned to communicate with her sons better and connected better with them. So just be mindful. I'm not saying kids aren't hard. They're very hard work. Not that I have kids. Personally, I don't. But I obviously, I've worked with kids a lot. So I understand it's very difficult as parents sometimes. And, you can't be perfect. But we're just saying that the conflict is attack. So if you are attacking your children and they have acne, then that's possibly the reason why. Yeah, or absolutely. If there is a separation in the relationship and your kid's got eczema, then it's probably that has created it.
Well, that's what happened with the 10-year-old girl.
That's right. Yeah.
So that was that. That was the eczema. Yeah. It was the separation.
Yeah. So but the point about that is you can resolve it.
So I'm going to thank Boris for that one as well. Thank you, Boris, for giving that young girl eczema. And you, Mr. Whitty. Do you know what? You are amazing people, and you deserve to get rewarded for your lockdowns and your variants. They are such amazing people, and we owe our lives to those wankers.
They're about to get their desserts.
So anyway, I don't want to get back on that, but so it was a separation conflict for the girl.
Separation, yeah. So that's basically skin in a nutshell. It's very simple conflict because your skin gets created very early on in when you're being born in the womb. So it's a very base conflict. And now there are linings of skin within the body. That's different subject, but just the outer skin as a general rule. Those are the main conflicts that people get.
Yeah.
And
the thing is as well is that what we're trying to say is that if you're going and you keep going back to the doctors and you keep going to these specialists and you still got this problem and it's not resolving it, now you know why it's not resolving it. It's because inside your mind, I know we all might struggle with this and everyone does, but every biological thing, everything that happens to you is due to a conflict in your mind. And if the thing isn't going away, it's because the conflict needs to be resolved. So very, very simply, if you have a skin issue or complaint, or your child has a skin issue and complaint, then you'll be able to work out when the child started getting it and what was it? Was it a protection, a separation, or a contact issue? And when you know that, it doesn't matter how much cream, doesn't matter, no cutting out your dairy. Don't cut out your dairy. Don't cut out your dairy. Change your diet. It's not going to change anything.
Yeah, milk doesn't cause eczema.
Right?
It's not.
I was just saying, but whatever it is, what you need to become aware of is that you'll need to see somebody, whether it be myself, whether it be John, whether it's somebody else, that can go in and switch off the responses to the event in their mind that's running that program that's creating the separation or protection conflict. That's what needs to happen. And until that gets resolved, they will still continually have that symptom. Does that make sense? Was I quite clear about that?
You was very clear about that.
Good.
Very eloquently put.
Thank you.
You used the correct language.
Yes. Vernacular.
Not necessarily in the right order. I'll give you that. I'll give you that.
Thank you very much.
But no, it's very eloquently put.
Yeah.
That is the conflict. And all those things, the milk and diet, it's a lot of bollocks.
The problem is that people have so much confidence in this system, this health system,
yeah,
and experts, and they're going and getting the wrong advice. They're going and getting told that because the people that designed this system, like you said at the beginning, was a businessman, and they want to sell products, whether it's a Beach's Hot Lemon, whether it's a bleeding cream. Go and Boots,
where it's vitamin C. It was all created by the same person. It's
go in Boots and go into a pharmacist, right, and look how much there is. All of it.
Yeah,
there's so much there. I don't even know which one to have. Right. Well, actually, all you need to do is switch off the conflict. You don't need to buy any cream. You might want a bit of cream to if it's a little bit uncomfortable, then put a bit of cream on it, then switch it off, right?
Yeah.
But otherwise, it's just to sell you products, and we're constantly addicted to either putting things in our mouth, thinking that putting something in our mouth is going to solve the problem, or buying a product. When actually it's nothing out there that's going to solve it. It's something that's going on in there. And I keep saying, go and watch my video on the mind. It really does. Which brings me on to the fact as well. Also, I said to you on Thursday, I'm going to design a video that explains how every single conflict in your body or every illness is created from the perception. Remember I told you about that on Thursday?
Yes.
So that's going to come, and I'm going to do this video and show you exactly what happens from the time an event happens in you, how you then perceive it, how your brain then filters that and then takes that information and makes something up about that event, which then causes you to go into fight and flight, which then affects a specific organ. And that's all based on the perception. And I'm going to do a video showing you when this event happens, if John perceived it as an abandonment conflict, it's going to affect his kidneys. If I got angry, it's going to affect my bronchi. If I felt there's an injustice, it's going to go to my neck. And I'm going to show how that comes in, what the process is, and then what creates all of the different conflicts to all the different parts of the body and what causes it. Yes. And I'll explain everything. But I've also done a video about the mind and how we store information, what causes that, and how we can't change anything. It's not, we don't need products. No. We don't need products. Well, I'm saying we don't need them. There are some, but
no, there are sometimes you need to manage and maintain symptoms. That's fine. And that's great. I've done that in the past. You just maintain your symptoms, you get rid of it. But it's not treating the cause. We just want people to treat the cause and understand that actually they have a lot more power over their bodies and their health and well-being than we have been taught.
Yes.
And that is the problem. We all think we're powerless over our health, but in a lot of cases...
And we catch stuff.
And we can be affected by things outside of us. And all that does is that belief just weakens you. That belief that we are affected by something outside of us that you can't see, that's completely invisible, you can't smell, taste, or touch it. And you wake up one morning, but it's definitely there.
Yeah.
I mean, that belief weakens us and makes us believe we are weak and powerless and vulnerable.
And then we can't do nothing about it. We just have to sit there until we just get better naturally. Our immune system does all the work.
Yeah, and we're really not that weak and powerless. Our bodies are amazing and incredible.
Yeah.
And given the right information, they will heal themselves very, very quickly.
Yeah.
And it doesn't take much to be able to do that in a lot of cases. So just bear that in mind when you're looking at skin, because skin is traditionally looked at as very complex and very difficult and blah blah blah.
But everything, the way they try and make everything complicated. That's the problem.
Yeah.
So anxiety.
Yeah.
They make this thing. You have all of this stuff. I see all these adverts for managing it and having these getaways. I'm like, well, just come and see me. And within about half an hour, you won't have it anymore. Yeah. Unless it's a really big anxiety, it might take me an hour. Yeah. Right. But generally, it don't take me more than an hour to heal someone's anxiety. Yeah. An hour maximum, generally.
Yeah.
Unless they've got loads of, unless they've got loads of it. They're riddled with it. But generally,
I've treated people with riddled with anxiety, so it takes a bit longer sometimes.
Yeah, but they're very rare people.
They are very rare.
They're really rare, and the general 95%, 99% of people that will have it.
Yeah,
it's just a really simple thing. It's just switch it off, and it's gone, and they don't longer have it anymore.
No, that's right.
You don't got to manage it and go on events and talk about it and have a retreat.
Yeah,
and have a retreat, right? Yeah. Have a retreat and learn how to manage it and live with it and blow in a bag and drink some water and take deep breaths and go for a walk and change your thinking. What? No, just go and switch it off.
That's right.
So, and it's the same for everything, but we do complicate everything.
Yes,
we do.
We overcomplicate. As human beings, we do everything in the world. One of my superpowers is to make things simple. Most people cannot make things. In fact, I think that's probably, forget everything else I do. I'm just really good at making things simple, and most people can't do that. They overcomplicate things, and it's not complicated. The mind's not complicated. The body's not complicated. You know, my mentor literally used to see the body as a giant polo, and outside with a hole that goes all the way down the middle, and that's the way he viewed the body, and that's why he got people better really quickly.
Yeah.
And he
must be worth a mint, that
geezer. I don't know the answer. That was a good segue. I like that very good.
Like that? I just want to say there's a lady who's asked a question. She said, absolutely loving this. Hello, Nikki. Thanks for joining us and watching us. So, Nikki, yeah, thank you. Absolutely loving. My friend has chronic itchy skin for 7 years.
Oh, we didn't cover itchy skin.
Would be interested to know why.
Okay.
I'll tell you, you're going to answer this one.
She had it for 7 years.
Yeah.
7-year itch. Obviously married. Could that be it?
7-year itch.
No, I'm joking, Nicky.
You could have the 30-year hate. Even someone 30 years you hate them, but you won't leave them because you know I can't leave them. I just got to carry on hating them.
Well, a lot of people do.
Yeah.
I
have one life and I want to be as miserable as I can with it.
Yeah.
And make the kids miserable and everyone else with it because me and Dave ain't happy.
You got confident, eh?
I know. I see it all the time, though. It does me head in.
So no, itching is not. I mean, traditionally, if you look at that, you could say they're irritated by something. If they're constantly scratching and itching, that's not necessarily an eczema. So I didn't cover that because sometimes you can itch and be have an irritated skin, but there doesn't necessarily appear any rash or anything. And that point of view, I'd say someone's got under your skin or you're irritated by something. That is not always a skin issue. That can be a nervous system issue. And the irritation is coming from the nervous system.
Yes.
But obviously
response.
Your skin scratches because you can't scratch your nerves, but you're feeling it in your skin. So I would say it's probably an irritation. They're irritated with something. And where it is on the body will mean something relevant.
Yeah, that's the psychological thing.
So the part of the body, if it's on their hand and they're irritated by something they can't let go of. Or they're irritated by someone they want to punch, which is more likely the case.
That's why I've got itchy hands all the
time. So if, for instance, it's in the thumb here, then it's something you can't grip or let go of because that's what the thumb is for. The thumb is the thing that separates them from animals. There's great Eddie Izzard sketch, where cats can only do this with things. Whereas if a cat had a thumb, what would they do? They pick up and go.
Yeah.
But so the thumb is the thing that separates us from animals a lot of the case, and that's for gripping and holding on to things. So if they're itching in here, then that's something they can't grip and hold on to. They're itching in their arms, then they're
holding on to something.
They want to hold something, or they're irritated by someone. Elbows, they want to elbow them. It depends on where it is on the body. If you want to just message and tell us where it is on the body, then we'll tell you what the body part is.
Yeah. The conflict is for
for that part of the body.
But
I would say it's probably someone that's irritated them, and it's obviously still in their life because they're still doing it 7 years later. So there's obviously the conflict is an environmental situation that is irritating them. If they aren't getting any rashes or anything, then it will go back to separation.
Yeah.
But if there's not, then it's just an irritation.
Yeah. So 7-year itch.
Yeah, probably that's what it is. Yeah.
Yes. Right. Okay.
Any other questions?
Well, no. There was another question. It's just while you were talking about that, and that we talked about the itching. One thing that we haven't covered, which is something that I had and you switched off for me, was shingles.
Oh, shingles. Yes.
So shingles, because I actually got some shingles. And that was because my son was going back to Ireland and I was being separated from him after having him for 6 weeks in the summer. I had to fly him back to Ireland, and 3 days before I was about to fly him back, I got shingles all around the back of my neck, which was an injustice. Because I had to take flying back to Ireland, and I was in agony, and all around here as well.
Your back and side as well, as your ribs, because that's protection. Shingles can be separation, but it can also be disgust, defilement. Defilement issue, shingles, or an injustice of some, not injustice, sorry, or separation. So it can be either or conflict. So just depending on the person. In Steve's case, it was a loss and an injustice because of his neck. So again, depending on where you get the shingles, means something. Depending on where you get the eczema or the spots, means something. But the actual conflict for shingles is separation or not separation or defilement conflict.
Yeah. So
it's not something that's common, so it's not.
People. I mean, when I did what everybody does when I first got it. Straight on Google. Typed in shingles. It said, "Oh, I was going to have it, and it never ever goes, and you can have it for years."
Yeah,
and basically, I think
and that's the embedded belief system.
Yeah, and so anyway, I told you, and you went, "Oh no," you said to me, "Who you lost contact with?" I went, "Oh, my son." You went, "Oh, that's what it would be," and we switched it off, and within a week, it all gone.
Yeah,
I've had no problem since. I haven't had it for 6 months or 7 years or 6 years, like they say on the NHS website.
No,
I literally switched it off, and it was gone within a week.
Yeah.
So, Nikki's come back and said, "My friend itchy on her arms, legs, and most of her body, to the point it's driving her mad, and like she feels like pinpricks all over her body."
Okay, so yes, that would be a territory issue. That's the nervous system. So it'd be a massive territory issue that irritates her, gets under her skin. Yeah. Would probably be the language that would resonate most with her. It just gets under her skin. And she may use language like, "Oh, it really irritates me when he does this." But I would say as it's on pretty much a whole body, then it's a massive issue. And it will be something big in her life that maybe happened 7 years ago and still bothers her. But, so a big loss of the family, for instance.
So we might want to define territory for her.
Yeah, so territory is something you perceive as yours. So it could be family, it could be a business.
Your home, children, things you own.
Kids, anything that you perceive that you own, anything you perceive that is yours, that then goes away or gets defiled in some way, or you lose, or it's no longer you no longer feel it's yours. That is what our territory is. It's not true. We don't own things, but our unconscious doesn't know that, and neither does Bill Gates or anybody else for that matter. But different story. Territory is what we perceive we own, and it doesn't necessarily mean what we do own, like a car. It can be like a person, even though we don't own people. So I'd say it's a massive conflict from 7 years ago that's really irritated her, really got under her skin, and it's still being fired off now. But it will be to do with a territory because it's the nerves.
Yeah. Samantha, hello, Sam.
Hi, Sam.
Right, gorgeous. So what about if it is a nervous system issue?
Well, if it's a nervous system issue, like it's an irritation, that's what it's going to be. It's going to be
territory thing.
It's a territory issue that's irritated you. So just switch that off.
And you know all about being irritated.
I do tonight, yeah.
No, Sam does.
Sam does.
Yeah, when she says, I really see her, so it's really irritating me.
Well, then that's what it...
I don't know if it's me that irritates her, actually. I might irritate her. You might irritate her, yeah.
So, no, if it is a territory, it's just an irritation. It's just something's got under your skin. Just think of it like that. What's got under your skin, what's got on your nerves, because that's basically what that is.
That would explain my sore nipples.
I don't know.
No, because I get irritated because everything gets on my tits.
Oh, I see. Right. Well, then
boom. See what I mean?
So your language is really important. If you say things like that, we often say things like that, and it really gets on my nerves. That does. Oh my God, she gets up my nose.
Yeah.
That can actually describe the language people use. Actually, often describes their symptoms, and they don't realise they're saying it or doing it. Yeah. So often I'll listen for people's language.
I do that all the time now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's so obvious when people talk about it.
I know, and I do that with beliefs as well. Yeah. I pull someone out, I go, "Well, what do you think about it?" "Well, I don't believe it's ever going to go away." Like Hayley, exactly, yeah. "I don't believe it's ever going to go away." Boom! Now I found the problem. Yeah. They was like trying to think about what it was, and I'm trying to go, "Okay, do you know what? Let's just pull them out." And instantly, the thing that it was, they went, "This thing is never going to go away, is it?" Right, there you go. Right. And it will just literally come out without thinking about it. And it's all used in the language.
So just listening to people's language about how they describe scenarios or situations, you'll actually hear what the conflict is in their own language.
Yeah, because when we're acting from the logical brain, that, "Oh, I can't remember that bloody, what's the name of that thing? Oh, I can't remember it." And you say, "Don't think about it and it will come to you."
Yes.
That's because the logical brain and the emotional brain are separate. And so all your conflicts generally exist in the subconscious brain. So as soon as you get out of your thinking brain and stop going, "Oh, what is it?" and you let go of getting out of that and just let it come back into your thing, then it'll go, "Here I am," and it will just reveal itself. Exactly what happens. Right, and that's what's happening with our language.
Yeah, if you just remove yourself from it for a bit, the unconscious will bring it up.
Yeah.
So the best thing to do is to not think about it, go and do something else, and then let it come to you.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah. So hopefully, Nikki, that's answered that for you, and Sam, hope that's answered that for you. Any other questions?
Yeah.
What people say things here? I can't read it.
Oh, so good evening to you both. Hope you're keeping well. Yeah, Jane, thank you very much.
Hey, Jane.
And Libby.
Oh, hey, Libby. Are you watching, Libby?
Yeah, Libby.
Oh, brilliant. Hey, Lib, how you going?
Your podcasts are great as they help to remind me of things that are so easily forgotten. Thank you.
What? Pardon? I forgot.
I think you know what we were talking about.
No, I don't know. What we're talking about? Oh, skiing. That's right. Yes. So no, thank you, Libby. No, Libby. We appreciate that. Thank you for the nice comments. And we appreciate everyone watching and listening. We know you're out there. So yeah.
And all the people that aren't watching because we just trigger them because their belief systems.
For them. So maybe we should send one off to Boris.
I've been told by my doctor it's that. How dare you say the opposite?
Maybe we should send one off to Boris. Oh, I do want to say the funniest thing I heard
this week. What we should do. Hang on. Go on. What's the funniest thing?
The funniest thing I heard this week. So going to our regular slot. Funniest thing I heard was Boris Johnson talking about Peppa Pig for 10 minutes. Had me in stitches. I have to say, funniest thing I've heard for months. Him rambling on about Peppa, and this is the person people are listening to lead the country. Yeah, I think. And lock yourself away and wear a mask for the next. You're going to listen to someone who rambled on about Peppa Pig. Really? Come on. But that was very funny. So I just wanted to point that out. That was the funniest thing I heard. It is. So yeah. No, what I was going to say. If you've not heard it, go and watch it. Find it on YouTube because the people went mental over it.
We should have a round table where we get like 4 or 5 doctors in.
We ain't got enough room for a round table. We better get a square table. What are you on about?
No, we should get a round table. Get 4 or 5 doctors in. Get a couple of people with depression and anxiety.
Yeah.
And then we'll have a doctor off.
A doctor.
Yeah.
Off.
We say, okay, you. So. You give this doctor, give a doctor someone who's got depression and anxiety.
Yeah.
And put him in one room.
Yeah.
And then put me and you with them in another room. And we'll go, right? And we'll give it and we'll see how quickly them doctors can heal that depression and anxiety in that person.
Yeah.
And then we'll do it. And at the end of an hour, we'll see our results. Right, we'll go and check the results. Let's have a look at the results now. And then we're going with Jonathan. Jonathan's got 100%. Well done, Jonathan. All right, we can have that.
Yeah,
don't fry their brains, wouldn't it?
You know that docs will come out, so they go, no, we have to refer them to specialists. So that'll break up the whole appointment to begin with. It'll be like, no, we referred them to specialists. We made some notes.
The good thing about it is they're lucky because we're actually in the same building. We're actually in the same room. They just send them to us,
it's brilliant, yeah. We wouldn't be considered specialists.
We would be. That'd be really funny. I know.
So
we're not specialists because we get people better. No. Yeah, no, you're right.
Yeah.
There is actually a lot of truth in that statement.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. That's why I said it. I'm very truthful.
So. You are very truthful.
So if no more questions, do you have anything to add to that?
Add to what? Your statement?
Add to my just the podcast generally. Would you like to add any pearls of wisdom?
No, well, I'll tell you what I do want to do.
No pearl necklace.
I'll tell you what. The pearl necklace. You ain't getting a pearl necklace off me.
No,
how desperate I am.
What about for Christmas?
I know. No. Forget that, mate.
Okay.
The last thing we want to do is have a tear up with Emily.
No, actually, you don't want that. No. She's got a mean right hook.
Yeah.
Have you seen her biceps?
So anyway, because obviously we haven't done the quiz this week.
That may sound very manly. She's not. She's gorgeous. She's very feminine. Don't get me wrong. If you're listening, beautiful, I love you. So normally we do a quiz. She doesn't hit me either. Don't you think the mean right hook means she hits me? Because she doesn't.
She don't?
No. Sometimes give me a kick in the shin if I'm saying the wrong thing, but she doesn't hit me. No.
No. It's right now? It's good out your system?
No, not really.
I can't really say that about my partner, really.
You ain't got a partner.
Exactly.
No,
that's right.
No, exactly, yeah, no.
For some unknown reason. Right, so normally...
We discovered that the other day what the reason was, didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, we did. Carry on. Anyway. Right,
anyway. I had a frightened a bit. Right, yeah. So...
And syphilis. His shingles are back.
Shingles are back. I know. Terrible.
Keep up with steady rhythm. What's going on? No, carry on.
So anyway...
Yes.
We don't. We was normally do a quiz, didn't we?
Yeah, we're not doing a quiz.
We're not doing it.
No, we're not doing a quiz.
No,
because I'm dreadful at quizzes. My knowledge is dreadful.
Well, anyway,
my general knowledge.
So anyway, because obviously you didn't win the pen and the keyring, did you?
I didn't win the pen and keyring.
You didn't win treble. So I didn't
get a blank checkbook and pen either.
No. And you failed abysmally on all 3.
No, I know.
And so I saved you the embarrassment, and I felt so guilty.
Did you?
Yeah, I felt so guilty that you didn't get the amazing, ladies and gentlemen, Healing the Mind pen and keyring. I just thought that I think everybody out there feels sorry for you because I'm like humiliating you.
Yeah.
So I thought that I'd give you a Healing the Mind keyring and pen as a consolation prize. Consolation prize. Aye.
Thank you so much.
So I don't want anyone writing in thinking I'm a bully or I'm unfair.
Look at this. This is incredible, isn't it? It's amazing that I did have a lot of people message me, feeling sorry for me, sympathy.
Yeah.
Actually, no, not one. Nobody. No one. Sympathy with me at all. No one said, don't worry, you'll get one eventually. Don't worry, it doesn't mean you can't.
Perseverance.
You're still loved. If you're not great generals, we still love you. No one, not one person said it. But I'm greatly appreciative of these.
Yeah, I can have that. Yeah.
I will treasure them.
I told you, they're as rare as rocking horse shit they are.
Yeah. I know, I can imagine. Yeah, I can see why they're rare. To be honest, and I will look forward to
look after them, wouldn't you?
Taking them one day to the Antiques Roadshow and asking if they're worth anything.
Yeah. So anyway, you can have that now.
Thank you.
Right,
yes.
I've got rid of that guilt and my shame.
You got that guilt now.
So Julie, my friend over in America. Hello, Julie. How are you? Happy Thanksgiving, by the way.
Hello, Julie. Yes, happy Thanksgiving. It was a couple days ago, wasn't it?
Was it plenty of turkey?
Plenty of turkey on Thanksgiving, yes.
Plenty of turkey.
Do you do turkey in America Thanksgiving? Is that what they have?
I think so.
Is it turkey? I don't know.
So Julie, over in New Jersey, she said, I'm loving this topic. What about constantly dry skin? There you go. What about constantly dry skin?
Constantly dry skin.
Yeah. Using the wrong products. This is what Emily would say. She said to me when I went and done modelling. Using the wrong stuff.
So constantly dry skin is your stress state. So that means you're in your sympathetic nervous system. So if it's drying out, then the skin is constantly under a stress. And again, that would be a stress of a separation conflict. So it's not necessarily eczema, but it could be the start. I mean, what would happen is once you resolve the conflict, the skin would go red and itchy. And doctors say that's the bad thing. But actually what's happening, I didn't explain what's actually happening with the skin when you're getting the itchiness, because if you understand what's happening in the cells, when you feel separated and the skin is white and flaky or it's dry, what's happening, the cells of the skin are breaking down. So they're crumbling, they're breaking off. That's why it's dry skin.
Yes.
That's why it's white and flaky. It's breaking away. And that's why it's not very sensitive at that point, because the skin cells are breaking down. When it goes to the red and itchy phase, that's the skin cells growing. That's why it's red and itchy, because your skin is growing again. That's actually the good bit. You want it to grow. And the doctors, they try and stop it. Fucking morons. You actually want it to grow, but what you don't want is you don't want the cycle repeating itself. You don't want it to stay red and itchy, and you don't want it to go back to stress and white and flaky, then back to itchy again. You just want to resolve the conflict. But the itching and the redness is a good thing. It's just not good if it's there constantly. Consistently, potato. So
all the time then.
And that goes for all symptoms. All bleeding. Bleeding is a good thing. It's your body letting go of dead cells. If it happens continuously, no, that's not good, but you just need to resolve the conflict. Then it will happen once more and the conflict will resolve.
Yeah.
So these symptoms that we've been taught are bad, that doctors try and get rid of because they're fucking idiots, they're just stopping you from healing because they're trying to put you backwards through the process. So if you've got red and itchy skin and you take medication or cream, that's putting you back to stress. So you're going backwards through the process. You're not moving forwards out to healing.
So it's going into stress and then going into repair. And then what we're doing is that we go into stress. When we go into repair, we experience the symptoms. Then we go and see the doctor, and they'll go, right, put you back into stress again.
They put you back to stress by giving you medication.
Yeah.
And that's all it does. It puts you back to the sympathetic nervous system. But dry skin probably is a separation conflict. You're just stuck in a stress state and there's no resolution of it. Even if you resolve it, doesn't mean you may not get irritation, but the skin should stop being dry at that point.
Yeah.
So it does bring up I was actually going to suggest doing a podcast on something because it brings up
on something
on this.
How
on
revealing! That'd be really good.
Really,
tell me what it is. I've got loads to talk about on that topic.
Yeah, on something.
This week's topic is something.
And I'm going to give you something for nothing.
Yes,
so talk about nothing.
I'll just give you something for nothing.
Exactly.
And I've just been called a bastard by my friend Michael.
Have you?
I did. I've known him all these years. Enjoy your pen, John. He's a bastard.
Enjoy your pen, John.
I know.
Thank you, Michael. I appreciate that.
I know.
I will enjoy my pen.
I'm evil. I try and help people. I look after people. I heal them. I give them good advice and knowledge. But actually, I'm just a bastard.
You're just a bastard.
Just a
That's
bastard.
what you are, clearly. No, what I was going to say was I've had this conversation with a few people recently about skin problems when it comes to chemicals. And now this is me putting the question out there because there's an unanswered question. That's what I was going to talk about. Maybe do a podcast on whether chemicals. A podcast?
Yeah. Can we do a podcast on
it? Do a podcast on chemicals. Do chemicals and poisons really affect us the way we think? Because one of my ex-girlfriends was a hairdresser. Was a hairdresser. I assume she still is. And she used to teach hairdressing. And she loved what I did. She totally got it. She thought it was brilliant. She really understood it. And she said to me one day, what happens when some of the people she teaches, they get irritations on their skin? Because they're told it's from the chemicals they use in hairdressing. Yes. And I said, well, okay, well, how well do you know them? She said, I know them pretty well. I said, well, the conflict for the skin is a contact issue or a separation issue. So in this case, it's probably a contact issue.
Yeah.
And I said,
too much contact with
too
people?
much contact. And she said, well, the people who are getting the rashes or the skin irritation, they don't want to be touching people's hair. They're only doing the course because they want the colour therapy. They don't want to be hairdressers. And so what they're doing, they're having to touch people's hair when they're washing it.
But they don't want to.
And they don't want to. So it's a contact issue. And it's made so much sense to her. So in this case, is it really the chemical causing the problem? Because it wasn't causing everybody. Or was it the contact issue causing the problem? In this case, it has to be the contact issue. Because if it really was the chemical, then the chemical would cause it in everybody.
Would it be potentially the belief of the chemicals and being in contact with the chemicals?
Well, it could be. I mean, you could have a belief that says that, but in a lot of these
because that would
cases,
actually be a conflict because you're in contact with the chemical.
Yes, you could have a belief about that.
So if you've got a belief that the chemicals are going to be the problem and you're in contact with those chemicals, that can cause the conflict.
That can cause conflict as well. In this particular scenario, she did know that these people didn't want to touch people's hair.
Yeah.
So that was a contact conflict. I didn't sit each one of them down. I didn't meet any of these people. I just asked her what it was.
Well, the good thing about it, she should have done mine and then had no problems.
Exactly,
they wouldn't have to touch any hair on my hair.
Which is a separation conflict.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, it's a separation conflict.
I haven't been separated from much in my life, mate.
No, not a lot at all. No.
That's why I haven't got any.
He says with a comical smile and a bit of tongue in cheek.
Yeah,
exactly.
Good job I switched it all off, really, mate. Otherwise, I'm a complete nutter. But I am a bit of a...
You are a bit of a nutter, I know.
No.
So the question I've been putting to people recently, and I'm not saying it's true. I'm not saying this is true, or I'm just saying it's worth questioning because in this scenario, the chemical wasn't causing... And we're taught so much that chemicals causes problems, but how much do they really? Because this example shows that it wasn't causing the problem.
Yeah.
And, in this particular case, not everyone is affected by that chemical. Well, why not? If it really was a chemical, then it would be irritating everybody. So if you think that a chemical is irritating your skin, it probably isn't. It's just a separation.
Well, here's the thing. This is very interesting, actually, because I had this conversation a few days ago when it comes to the jabs.
Yes.
And we know what's in it.
Yeah.
Right? We know it's not anything to do with a virus. Right. And my point was, when I was talking about this, I was actually saying, well, hang on a minute. I understand that there's hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people that are injured and dying from it. But here's the thing. Is the thing that's being injected into them, is it the fact that they're already running the conflict and their body's now using that to enhance the conflict? Or if nobody has any conflicts at all running, generally hardly any conflicts, and they have the jab, does the body then just literally get rid of all the toxins and the stuff that's in the body? Yeah. Right? That I don't know.
No.
I don't know. And I don't know, but that's the same thing again. Is that if you're you have not running any conflicts whatsoever, you can go and get those jabadoos, right? And be absolutely fine. Your body will just get rid of it. But if you're running specific conflicts, does it then use those toxins to then enhance the conflict and affect that organ?
Yeah. So sometimes that's what happens. Sometimes the body latches onto a chemical or toxin to resolve an issue for you. And I've actually briefly had this discussion with somebody because the only way to know is to actually involve the biological responses when you question someone about it.
Yeah.
And that's what nobody does. When they're trying to find a cause of something, They don't say, well, did you have a separation issue? Did you have a loss conflict? Did you have a self-worth issue?
Did you feel attacked?
Did you
feel powerless?
And unless you involve that in the mix of trying to understand where something comes from, you're never going to find the root cause. Now, it could be because there's another part to that, that some people are getting a saline, some are getting a kill shot, some people are getting the mRNA. So it could be that. But unless I can sit some of these people down and go, well, what was the conflict you were going? Is there a conflict you're going through at the same time? You will never know. Yeah. And that's the missing piece from diagnostics.
Yes.
The missing piece from diagnostics is looking at all the scenarios, taking all the information and what they were going through at the time and going, right, what was going on?
Yeah.
And that is what, and when, and the time frame, and actually analysing it from that point of view. That is what traditional medicine does not do. In fact, that's what nothing does in any scenario. Yeah. They don't take into consideration what we were going through at the time or in the past that could have potentially led to or made the problem worse.
Yeah.
And I know that's very controversial about chemicals. I'm not trying to say it is that. I'm just trying to say it's worth exploring because I've had other examples where chemicals look like a problem, but they actually weren't. I just brought this one up because it was skin.
Yeah.
And so a lot of people think that the skin is caused by the chemicals. If you do have a skin condition and you think it's used because you've used chemicals, you might want to rethink it because that belief is keeping you stuck. And I can almost promise you that there'll be a separation or a contact issue in there somewhere.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah, so we've had someone, I don't know if I take this one seriously or not.
Go on.
So Jenny, hello Jenny, how are you?
Hello Jenny.
I did reply to your message, by the way. Can you do a podcast on piles?
What, sitting on them? You mean instead of stools?
Yeah.
No,
could a podcast on
interesting
one,
yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Not sitting on my stool, I'm sitting on my pile.
Piles of what?
Piles.
Yeah.
Actually, what is piles? Actually, I might have to look at piles.
It's hemorrhoids, isn't it?
It's hemorrhoids.
Yeah.
I'll double check that one. I've not come across.
How many people come up to go, hello Steve, I've got hemorrhoids, can you hear them for me?
No, I'll have to look that one up. So I'll look it up and let you know because I've not really come across it. But I'll look it up and find about piles.
Yeah.
There will be a conflict.
Bleed?
There will be a conflict for it. What is the organ for piles? What's the organ reaction?
The arsehole.
The arse. No. Yeah. Well. Yeah. No. What's it, Jenny? What's the organ reaction?
Why they bleed?
Why they bleed? Oh, well. So bleeding is an anger issue. That wherever it is, bleeding is anger. So if
you're angry at an arsehole in your life.
Well, yeah, no, it can. So, for instance, if
you're angry because you've acted like one.
No, if you're bleeding from your nose, then it's something up your nose made you angry. If you've got stomach issues and you're bleeding, then it's something you couldn't digest that made you angry. The bleeding is the anger bit. So again, whatever, I don't know what the conflict for piles actually is, but the bleeding will be the anger part. So if something's made you angry, clearly, I need to look up what the piles is. But is piles or skin?
Hemorrhoids.
Is it skin?
Well, yeah, it's like well, I don't really know. I'm not an expert in it, to be quite honest.
No, I don't know. I have to look it up, Jenny.
All I know is
I don't want to say without looking it up, but the bleeding will be the anger part.
Isn't it the correct thing? Isn't it a burst blood vessel that comes out of the?
Pass. I don't know. Yeah. Once I've looked it up, I'll know, and then I'll be able to give you some more information on more information. That makes sense. So I don't know what the organ reaction is.
It all makes sense when you actually understand why.
Yeah, but I will look up the organ reaction for it and let you know on the next podcast.
Oh, by the way, I just want to add, you can't catch a virus, by the way. Just thought I'd add that, everybody. No, you can't catch viruses, and you can't spread viruses. They're just symptoms. You can't catch them. Just thought I'd add that one in for all of those who are watching, and they're currently watching the BBC later on tonight. They're going to shit their pants because Boris has come out and said that there's a variant, which is an anagram of moronic. So I just wanted to add that. Carry on. I just wanted to add that. I just had this...
Is that irritating? Getting under your skin, is it?
Yeah, I mean, I must get my booster.
He'll break out in irritation tomorrow and scratching because it's getting under his. Boris is getting under his skin,
and I'm probably bloody angry, so I'll be bleeding everywhere.
He's angry bleeding as well.
He'll be bleeding from his eyeballs. Fucking 10 o'clock tomorrow.
Don't worry, I'll come over and switch it off.
I mean, nosebleeds. He's got my nose. I'm like, complete mess. Thanks, Boris. I love you.
So if that makes sense to you, but I will look up what piles means for the next podcast.
Yeah, and she said that makes sense.
Great. Any other questions? We had a lot of questions tonight, which is great.
Yeah, no, a lot of people interacting. That's really good. Yes, Jenny's on the same thing. The new variant is a load of old bollocks. No shit, Sherlock.
Yeah, it is.
The first one is a fucking load of old bollocks. Let alone all the variants.
Yeah, they're all
bollocks. The whole thing's been bollocks from the start. We've been trying to tell everyone this since before the first lockdown.
Yeah.
That what causes symptoms in our body, and it's all of them 7 things.
Yeah.
Fight and flight responses, the first fight and flight.
I did see a great meme which also made me chuckle. It said, I've got a great idea. Why don't we lock down the government for a few months and see how much better we get on? That was brilliant. That's the best idea. Let's lock the government down. We don't need them. They are useless beyond belief. Yeah. They don't do anything for us. And if we did that,
they don't do anything. It's what they do is they take all of our money, they line the pockets of their friends who own corporations, and then dictate to us what we should think, act, behave, and do. And if we don't follow that, they then take money off of us.
Yes.
But actually, all they're there to do is to do the best for us, not to rape, pillage, and slave us and make us follow rules that they think that they need to have to earn money. The whole thing's a sham. The whole thing's a scam, and it's a disgrace. And if anybody just believes in government, you are so educated or misunderstood. You've been brainwashed to think that you need somebody in your life to tell you what to think, what to feel, what to act, and how to behave,
and to protect you.
Yeah, and protect you. When actually you should be able to do that on your own as a fucking man or a woman. You don't need somebody to tell you what to do. But
you must clear your conflicts and deal with your stress. Yeah. Do what we say.
Do what we say, yeah. You know, and you should, and everybody. Yes, I do understand. We do need certain rules on drink driving because it could harm people. But this is where it causes harm and loss and suffering, right? I do understand that, right? You know, we do need those things. Yes, we do need a police force to go and look after the people that are committing heinous crimes on people. We don't need all.
Shame they don't do that to the government.
Well, yeah, and it's funny that they don't. So all these people that have been injured and harmed by the jabs. Have any of them been arrested for that, for pushing it, for telling it, for going on the news, for lying to you? No, no. What they're actually doing, these people are protecting them. They're protecting them, and if you speak out against it, they'll come after you. Because you're a bad person, because this is the whole thing. And when we start understanding what's going on, we've moved on to it again.
We've moved on to it, I know.
Yeah, I know. It just really fucking annoys me. But anyway.
Any other comments on skin? I think we've covered that now. No, I didn't even think about hemorrhoids and piles. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed that.
You decided to finish up then, have we?
We're finished up. Yeah, we're going to finish.
So John's decided we're finishing tonight.
You said nothing else to say?
No, I've been enjoying having a chat. I've seen it for 3 weeks since your bird's been back.
No, I know. Yeah,
I'm trying to make the most of it.
Yeah, well,
we're going to go and have a Chinese watch a film, and you won't say a fucking word to me for the next 2 hours.
No, I know.
We're going to watch the new Bond film.
I don't talk to you off camera, do I? We don't communicate. We're like an old married couple.
No,
no sex and lots of arguments.
Nice. Yeah.
Although last night was different. I'm joking.
We argued all fucking night.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's not different, is it? So no. Well, I like seeing my girlfriend. She's prettier than you.
I get that, but it doesn't mean you have to completely abandon me for 3 weeks.
A pen and a key ring as well.
I know she would. I'm a tight bastard, though.
Sometimes gives me a rubber.
As Mike said, I am a bastard.
You are a bastard. You're a tight bastard.
Yeah. I'm cruel as well.
He's not. He's
humiliating you on the podcast.
He's not. He's lovely. He's lovely. I get my own back. Yeah. I give as good as I get. So I've been heckled by worse.
Oh no, you haven't.
Oh yes, I have.
Yeah.
So on that note, I think we'll wrap it up.
I'll tell you what I'm going to do next time. I think what we're going to do. So we're going to do one next week.
We're going to do one in 2 weeks.
We're going to do one in 2 weeks.
And then we're going to possibly do a Christmas special the week of Christmas.
Yeah. So we're going to dress up like a couple of idiots and just go over what we've done over the last year. And
how's that different from what we normally do?
Well, you know, I think it'd be interesting. We can talk about more nonsense.
More nonsense.
Or more generalised nonsense.
More generalised nonsense.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. Not a topical
We're not
nonsense.
Sure what a Christmas special will be about, but we'll come up with something special for Christmas.
And so what I'm going to do is because obviously I've been testing. I could call you Greg then. Testing John with my knowledge. So, and obviously it's been a little bit. Obviously, John's struggled there a little bit.
A little bit.
Even though I even gave you the answers, mate. I gave you the answers. But so what I'm thinking of doing for the next one is I'm actually going to do a Harry Potter quiz.
Oh, doing a Harry Potter. That's all right.
So I'm going to do a Harry Potter quiz.
Questions.
So I'm going to find 10. Get you 10 questions.
Okay.
And if you don't answer 6 correctly, you give me my pen and key ring back.
Oh, I've just got them.
I've
just got them.
Yeah, but if you win, you get double the prize. No,
double the prize. I'll get 2 pens and a key ring.
Yeah, no. So I thought I'd do between now and then. do like a Harry Potter quiz for you.
Okay.
So everyone else can join in as long as they use a Healing the Mind pen. And yeah. So I thought I'd do a bit of research. I mean, I know quite a bit of it anyway, because I'm quite a bit of a Harry Potter fan. Because my girls were talking about my girls. It's my daughter's 25th birthday today.
It's your daughter's 25th birthday?
25th. She's 25 today. Oh. So I doubt she's watching, but if she is, happy birthday, DJ.
Happy birthday.
Haven't seen her for a very long time.
No.
No, sadly. Really makes me sad. But yeah, she's 25 today.
Oh, happy birthday.
Yeah, happy birthday, DJ. Yeah, so happy, and because we went to Florida and did all the Harry Potter stuff there with them, and I miss all that.
I'm a big fan of Harry Potter. I do love Harry Potter. So just give me a reason to brush up on the movies.
Yeah, and and they used to do their little plays in the front room. They used to fight who was going to be who's going to be Hermione and who was going to be Harry. And it's a fight in front of girls. Right?
Did nobody want to be wrong? That's a bit harsh.
They had the capes, and I got them the wands. I had the whole thing. It was really great. I miss all that. Yeah. But so I do a Harry Potter quiz.
Okay, cool.
And I'll find 10 questions and.
Okay. I'll try and get 6 of them right.
Yeah, but they'll be based on the films, not on the offshoots, or it'll be based on the
don't do it based on the books, because I don't read.
No.
Do it on the movies.
Yeah, I'm going to do it on the movies.
Yeah, do it on the movies.
So, yeah, you can. So, anybody else who wants to join in on that, I'm going to do a Harry Potter quiz.
Yeah, and if you want to use one of the pens, Steve will sell it to you for 10 quid. If you want to use the Healing the Mind pen. And the key ring, he'll sell you for 50 quid. And you can purchase that on our store. I'm joking, we don't have a store. I
will have a store soon. I'm going to have a Healing the Mind clothes store.
I've seen so many people have stores and things, they sell merchandise. I'm like, really? Seriously? I'm joking.
I'm gonna get a hoodies made up that says "Switch that shit off."
Yeah,
like that,
exactly.
Right? Yeah, I'm gonna have that.
Yeah, do you reckon that'd be good? Yeah. Do you reckon that'd go down well?
Yeah. Well, I love conflict resolution. Anyway, so I just had Sarah. So Sarah, hello Sarah, how you doing?
Hello Sarah.
But she said, great to hear a podcast on asthma. And that's just
okay, yeah. No, asthma's a bit more complicated than that.
Well, look, it's a fear base, isn't it?
No.
All of it?
No, there's actually 2 conflicts for asthma, but I can't remember what the second one is, so I have to look it up.
Okay.
There's actually 2 types of asthma as well. Okay. One is rarer, but there's 2 types of asthma, and I think one is 2 conflicts running at once. But let me look it up, because I haven't dealt with asthma for a long time, so let me look it up.
Yeah, it's bronchitis.
It is, yes, but asthma's a bit more complicated.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'll go back in and look it up.
I'd imagine he's also got external triggers for that as well, potentially.
Well, yeah, of course, it's external triggers. But I think that I know there's 2 types of asthma, so I want to be as specific as possible with people. One is a lot rarer, and the main asthma conflict is actually 2 conflicts at once, I believe.
Cool, yeah.
So I will look up asthma. So thank you for that, because we've been asking what people want to know. So
yeah, it's really great.
So if anyone has any other suggestions, what you'd like to hear about, let us know. And we'll tell you what.
Not many people do, don't they? They all tune in, but they don't really.
No, we love the comments. Thank you so much for the comments and questions.
It's great.
Normally people sit there and they're silent. And
like they're watching the news.
Yeah.
And tonight on the Inside Out Effect with Jonathan Shaw. Bong! Yeah. The new moronic variant is now being switched off in the Essex area.
But we really appreciate the questions and comments, because that gives us feedback, and so please keep the comments and questions coming. If you have any comments and questions after the podcast, just post them and we'll see them. And any other ideas that you want or information you want from us about type of conflicts or different problems, I can tell you what the conflicts are. I haven't worked with everything, neither has Steve.
No,
but I can look up the conflicts and tell you what it is.
See, the conflicts is, once we know what the conflict is, it's the same 7 responses. It's the same thing that causes, like I say, it's the same thing that causes headaches and migraines. Be the same thing that causes IBS. It's the same thing that causes anxiety. It's the same thing that causes PTSD. The same thing that causes bladder infections. The same thing that causes neck ache, backache. Although they're all symptoms, there's just the same things that cause it. And it's just understanding what the conflict is and what part of the body that does. And to get rid of it, it's using the same thing. I use the same thing for emotional stuff as I do mental stuff as I do physical stuff. Yes. Unless, obviously, you have to manually go in and move them around, which I don't do. But
no,
I don't need to.
No,
generally, most of the time. I mean, most of the pain I've done this week, last 3 weeks, I haven't laid a finger on them.
No, sometimes you don't. So sometimes you can get rid of it by just clearing the stress. Sometimes you need to do a little bit of manual work, but you need to do rehabilitation and stuff like that.
They're coming thick and fast tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah, ready? So here's another.
Oh, we've got another one.
Oh, I've got two. So here we're coming in. Oh, I love it.
And I was going to finish. I apologise. I take it back.
That will teach you.
That will teach me not to finish too early.
I'm obviously enjoying anyone wants to leave. Right,
Emma will be thrilled.
So this one. Yeah, I guess you will be.
Yeah.
What about cystic fibrosis?
Oh, okay. Yeah. I actually had a friend.
She
colleague.
said sister, brother, and sister died from it.
Yeah.
So were they both had the same conflict running?
Yes. Cystic fibrosis. I actually had a friend many years ago who had cystic fibrosis, and I believe she's still alive now. Again, I've not really gone into it, but it's the lungs, isn't it? Cystic fibrosis.
I actually don't know this one.
I will have to. I'll have to look.
Hands up and say I'm absolutely clueless on this one.
Yeah, no, I'll have to look that one up. Cystic fibrosis, because I think it affects multiple things. So again, well, I'll find out and let you know.
Yeah. You don't want to give you information which is wrong.
I don't want to give you wrong information. No, so
it doesn't work for us.
I've never treated it. Obviously, it's a very rare condition, and I've never treated it. So I have to look into that one.
And so I've also had another from Julie. So again, over there across the pond.
Yes.
We'd love to know more about constant congestion. Husband's always congested.
What, chest congestion or stomach congestion or traffic congestion? Because I mean, the roads are really busy over there. I mean, what congestion are we talking about?
Well, I don't know.
Is that stomach, Julie, or is that chest or throat? What sort of congestion is it? So yeah, let us know.
That'll come up hopefully in a minute.
Yeah.
But what if it is chest congestion?
Well, chest congestion is. I mean, that it depends if it's the bronchi or if it's the larynx or the esophagus. It depends where the
something
congestion
you can't swallow. Could be
so
angry,
it's either something a territory anger issue, something you can't swallow, or a fear if it's congested in the throat. If it's stomach congestion, then it's something you can't digest.
Yeah.
So I hope that's covered it. Sinus congestion. None of those.
Oh yeah, we did all of them.
We did all those, and it was sinus.
It's always the last
Seriously.
one, isn't it? It's always the last one.
Well, it would be. You wouldn't do that. You wouldn't
I know.
do one, then carry on doing. Would it? It's always going to be the last one.
So what about chest then?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So sinus congestion. Are there any other symptoms with it? I mean, it's just always sinus. If it's just the sinuses, then it's going to be something that gets up his nerves on his nose. Gets up his nerves or on it.
Gets up his nose or on his nerves. Easy for you to say, mate.
I know. I spent
that gets up my nose. When you can't speak.
I can't speak properly.
Look, my sinuses now.
I spent a fortune on my nose and my mouth's not working. I want a refund on the nose, to be honest.
I don't want a refund on that nose to be quite honest.
So congestion is something that gets up your nose or on your nerves. If you're getting chronic congestion in the nose.
You make Pinocchio look inadequate.
I know, tell me about it. I know. Well, I stole his girlfriend, didn't I?
Yeah. You're lying, it's getting longer.
Oh, I know, yes.
Got to protect that screen at this rate.
Yeah.
The camera off.
No. So that's a simple conflict, getting up your nose or on your nerves.
Yeah.
Hopefully that'll make sense. Any other questions? Any other comments there? No?
Oh, no. Jane's chipped in now, the lovely Jane who supports us all the time.
Hello, Jane. Yes, we're so grateful for you, Jane. We love you, Jane.
And so different subject, but nail biting.
Different subject, but nail biting. As in drama, excitement. You want no. Well, I mean, nails. That I would say traditionally is just a nervous issue.
Yeah, it's a nervous issue. Yeah.
But again,
we feel worried about something. If you've got fear around something, or you're not sure about something, or you're chewing something over. So maybe it could be something you're chewing over because you're using your teeth. You're chewing.
It could be. It could be
chewing over in your mind.
It could be something like that. I think nails are also a separation issue. I've not really looked at, but I think they are a separation issue. So I would look at with that, it's not necessarily an organ reaction. So the organ's not reacting, you're just biting your nails.
Habitual behaviour we've got into as well.
It's a habit, relieve stress. People do lots of things when they're stressed. They bite their nails, they tap on the floor, or they tap their foot, they tap their hands on the table, So
you're talking about me again. I do all of them.
Yeah, you do all those. So it could be that. So I would look at the emotional response around that rather than the biological conflict.
Yeah.
When it's illness and disease, we look for the biological response. But some things like that, like habits, they can just be an emotional response to something.
Yeah. Or a bit of learned behaviour.
Or just learned behaviour. Yeah.
It could be. Or
it's learned that it calms people down. Sometimes. So or
Well, it could be the fact that your nails have got long.
Yeah, it could be that.
You know, you could be like, oh my God, look, my nails are a bit long, I better bite them.
Yeah, exactly.
So I do it, I'm like, oh, they got a bit long.
Yeah, I do that sometimes as well, yeah. So
I used to bite my nails a lot when I was younger.
Yeah. Did you?
I just can't not stop since a young child.
You can't stop since a young child.
That's where you learnt it then.
Yeah, you probably... did your mum and dad do it? I mean, did you see anyone do it? Or did you just learn to do it?
I bet there was a girl she sat at next to school that used to do it all the time, and then she just started, I copied her.
She copied her.
Yeah.
Copycat. What'd she say there?
Yeah. Geez, I wish.
Geez, I wish.
So no. I wish sometimes. It don't necessarily come true for me. I've been wishing a lot.
No. I would look at the emotional response, and Jane knows how to do DTO, so she can just switch off that response.
Well, you thought she'd have done it by now if she could do that.
Well, no, because you didn't know what conflict was, I told her. I would look at the emotional response around it, Jane.
Okay.
Jane's really good.
Yeah, so Julie's come back and said it's mostly sinus, nose is stuffy, so that'll be...
Yeah, up your nose. And you've got your nose on your nerves. Yeah. I only asked that because it was a cold-based thing. He keeps repeating a cold, and that's a territory issue. And it might have had other symptoms with it to give more information. But if it's just the nose, then it's something got to be nose.
I just want to add everyone, you don't catch colds, by the way. I just wanted to know that as well. No, we don't catch colds. No, they're biological responses to things in our environment that make us store energy and causes a conflict. We don't catch and spread colds. I just thought I'd add that. Did you hear that, Boris and Mr. McWee? We don't catch and spread colds. They're just responses we can switch off. Over to you, John.
I don't believe you.
Hey?
I don't believe you.
No, well, you wouldn't do.
No, I wouldn't.
Everybody I tell that to don't believe me anyway. So why would you be any different?
No, it was.
Why would you question me when I actually switch colds off for people all the time?
You'd think with the two lovely gifts you've given me, I would believe you. You think with two nice things that I've got given, I would. I've got a lovely spot for them in the back of my drawer somewhere at home, along with the...
Don't lose them, because you might have to give them back if you don't get 6 on a Harry Potter quiz, mate. Harry Potter quiz?
No, I'm going to put them in the back with the old mobile phones, the batteries that I don't use anymore.
Yeah, the old Ericsson phone. The flip-top Motorola.
Yeah, that's it. The number of batteries, the flashlight doesn't work anymore.
Yeah.
All those
things. Without any batteries.
I'll put them in my man drawer.
Yeah. What about your rubber from school that you've always kept but you never use?
Well, no, I used it on my girlfriend last night. Oh no, different thing.
wrong rubber, mate.
Wrong rubber. Sorry, misunderstood. I used to collect rubbers. And I mean, razors.
I know from knowing your past, it doesn't surprise me. No, they went out of date, didn't they? Mine are at the moment.
What, yours are out of date?
I think so.
I wouldn't use those.
I know. I am free and available, ladies.
Come on, who wouldn't want this?
I know. Ridiculous.
Because he's so generous. He's such a generous man. You can tell. I tell you, ladies, if anyone wants to date him, he gives away the best gifts, and he will make you a night special. Good cook as well. He does actually. He is a very good cook. I'll give him that one. You ask my dog.
I'm a bloody nice bloke.
Yeah. Right. So, any more questions?
No, I don't think so. I think we've covered all of it.
We covered it all. Thank you so much for the comments. We really appreciate it.
Yeah.
We've loved chatting with you tonight.
It's been a bit different tonight, hasn't it?
It's been nice having a bit more interaction and people commenting. We really appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Yeah, no, thank you. So, okay, well, let's wind it up then. Let's get a Chinese and watch James Bond.
When he says that, he means me and him. We're not inviting you all round for Chinese and James Bond. Just want to clarify that.
You can do if you want.
Can you?
Yeah, so that's to bring the Chinese.
I was going to say, we're not paying all for Chinese because... we love you, but not that much.
Yes.
Anyway.
Right, okay, well, so that's it for this week's, or this fortnight's edition of the Inside Out Effect podcast.
Is it over?
It's over. We're going.
Wow, my goodness me.
Yeah, exactly. So, again, thanks a lot for joining us. And if you do have any more questions regarding any issues that we haven't covered in the past or topic like tonight, there's lots of people asking questions. It's great because we can tell you what's causing it. Please don't be putting on masks and being scared. There's no need to be. Really, please don't. It's just nonsense. You're being lied to. But other than that, so we're going to be back in a fortnight's time.
Yes, I don't know what date it is, but it'll be 2 weeks' time.
In 2 weeks' time, we're going to do another podcast, and we're going to be talking about a new issue or topic that comes up that is relevant in the next 2 weeks. If you want to work with John regarding issues with pain or poor movement or physical pain, including mental and emotional issues as well, then go to his website, which is the dtosystem.com. If you want to work with me and come and deal with any of your issues other than the manual physical stuff, then please go to healingthemind.co.uk and you can get in touch with me there. You can go and watch all of our podcasts on the our YouTube channel, which is The Inside Out Effect with Stephen and Jonathan, or you can just find them on our website or go onto the Inside Out Effect Facebook page. Other than that, we are going to leave you hopefully in good health, and we hope you've enjoyed the podcast, and thank you for joining us. John, do you have anything more to say on this beautiful Sunday evening. What are you looking at?
Maybe we should do a comment for eyes next week and tell what the comment eyes are.
Yeah, and happy birthday
Steve
to my...
can't see for toffee.
Yeah, and happy birthday to my daughter DJ, 25 today, and I love you loads. So.
Yeah. Happy birthday, G. Thank you very much for watching. I'll leave it there. Have a great weekend, and we'll catch up in a couple of weeks' time.
All the best, and have a good fortnight. Take care.